Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Skyter livestream for this wonderful 18th of February. I'm your host and purveyor of astronomical weirdness, Mark D'Antonio, and with me tonight, as usual, is the wonderful and ever so effervescent Daryl Mason. Hi, Daryl. What's going on?
Hello, Mark. Hanging out with you on a Friday night.
I know, huh? It's like we've got nothing better to do than to look at the sky on a Friday night.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
okay. I don't
Hi,
mind.
everybody.
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to our first object. This is called the Cosmic Bat Nebula. It is somewhat west of the three stars in Orion's belt, and we're just going to hang out with that for a little while and see what develops. So as always, this was a very quick stream, and I know that some of you didn't get notifications. I can't tell you why that happens. It's not right. Now, first of all, just so you know, I literally created the stream about 15 minutes ago, frankly, because I forgot to hit enter. So that's probably why you didn't get your notifications, so I'm sorry about that, my fault. But you're here now, and we're going to continue to have some fun. And if this music is anything to speak of, well, hey, you know, this is fun music, right? Yeah. Anyway, so this object, the Cosmic Bat, is a really interesting nebula. It's actually a combination emission nebula and reflection nebula. So it says emission nebula on the screen, but it's actually and a reflection nebula as well. So there, I've corrected it. But hi, Izabela. Hey, Charlotte. Hello, Fantasy. Hello to let's see who else was here. I saw somebody else here, and I don't see the. Oh, I know why, because I can't scroll that. Anahata77. Bonnie is here. Hi, Bonnie. How are you? Nice to see you. Michael Klagus is setting up his telescope. I can't wait to hear what he's going to capture tonight. Tell me, Michael, what are you doing? So there you are. That's who's here with us tonight. And we're going to see what happens, because I did absolutely no Facebook announcements about it. I wanted to see the reach of the YouTube notification system. So that's what I'm doing tonight. So if we're just a small crowd tonight, a small crew, then that's fine with me, because that means you guys are the diehards. You guys are the ones that deserve it. So if I'm not knocking my whole world around here. So what's going on, Daryl, out in Colorado? Anything fun happening out there?
Oh, the nice weather's back today through the weekend. Upper 40s today, 50s over the Saturday and Sunday.
That's
and
good.
then the next snowstorm is coming in Monday. We've been getting them pretty regular, and they hit you a day or two after they hit me.
That's why I said it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But beautiful day today. Can't complain.
Good. Charlotte, thank you for that. I'm glad that you got the notification.
For Izabela.
I told her I was going to be streaming, and so she decided to, she's just going to sleep at 2:30 a.m. I said I'll be streaming. So she didn't sleep. Oh, that's funny. You'll sleep. Yes, you will, I promise. You may have to do it during the day, though, if you're going to be joining us very often. Or you got to move to the United States. I mean, you went to school in, what, San Francisco? Izabela, didn't you? In California, didn't you go to school there? I think that's what you told me one time. And she'll let us know. All right, very good. Fantasy just got the, you got it too. Yeah, you know what? I don't know why the notifications work this way, but I know that clicking the bell is apparently not enough anymore on YouTube. You've got to actually select the notifications and say that you want to get notifications in addition. I don't know. But I figure we're going to do... Yeah, she was in college there. I figured that what we'll do tonight is capture a few cool things before the moon comes up. And then Daryl has something for us to do after the moon comes up, which he'll share with you in a little while. Which we'll do. So that'd be kind of fun. And as the days wear on, the moon is going to get further and further away from sunset. And, of course, next thing you know, it'll be last quarter, and we'll be able to do long streams again. It's just beautiful. You know, this
Yep.
nebula, by the way, is this size. It's actually pretty big. You can actually see some of the brown sooty material here. There's some here and some there. Okay, so there's a lot of material here if you notice. Let me get rid of the name. Come here, you. All right, let me slide that off the stage. There we go.
This is the Rabid Bat Nebula?
Right? It's a cosmic bat.
Oh, Cosmic Bat.
You were being funny, right?
Was I?
I thought so.
If
It
you
seems-
like, sure.
Yeah. It seems like, well, it's hilarious. It was funny. It seems like we've been finding on YouTube lately, every other video seems to be rabid fox. It's like rabid foxes seem to be invading now the entire suburbia.
You and
Well, I
I
have
must
a-
be watching the same stuff.
Did you see that too?
They've been offering rabid animals to me also, which is
That's
really sad and
strange.
gross.
It is, because, you know,
Yeah.
it's hard to watch animals, you know, experiencing that. I captured a fox in my front lawn, and he wasn't rabid at all. I actually, within a half hour of catch, and actually not even, I had to have a heart trap. I saw this fox that had mange. It looked like he was in pain from the mange. So I ended up putting a have a heart trap out on the front lawn, and I said, oh, I forgot to put bait. I forgot to put like peanut butter crackers or something. I turned to go in the house to get the crackers, and I heard ka-chink. And I said, oh, it probably set it off, because I had set it before I walked away. And I turned around, and the fox is in there, and he's just sitting totally still. And I'm like, Foxy, what the heck? So I picked him up, I brought him in the house, and there was something about this little fox. I didn't seem to have any fear of him, and he didn't have any fear of me. So I basically said, you know what? I'm gonna help you. I said, you've got mange. I'm gonna bring you to someone that can help you and fix you up. And you know, he had the mange smelled bad. You know, it's very bad. So I took him. I opened the trap, and I made a box up with a blanket. Okay, and I tipped the trap down toward the box, not steeply. And I said, come here, Foxy, come down here, get in the box. And he slid down. He jumped down into the box, and I put the trap away. And he just sat there. And I said, you okay? You know, and I literally don't know why I did this, but I started scratching the back of his head. And he liked it, and he just sort of leaned into it like dogs do. And I said, and you know, they don't make any noise. You know, they're very, very vocal, but this guy didn't make any noise. And so I said, not to worry, I'll take care of you. So I called up to my boys. I said, can you throw me down some of the hamburger we made for dinner? And they saw the fox in the box, and they went, I ain't bringing that down. So all of a sudden you hear thump, thunk, and there's like 2 hamburger chunks come down the stairs. So I got them, and I went to hold them over by the fox, and I said, now, Foxy, my fingers are pink and the hamburger's brown. And he just very, very carefully nibbled around my fingers, did not bite me, and then ate all the hamburger, and I fed it all to him. And then he curled up in the box, and I said, now you stay here tonight, and tomorrow I'll bring you down to Veronica, who was the wildlife rehab lady across the street, actually. Well, the next morning I came down, and there was Foxy sitting in the box, just calm and collected. I picked up the box and said, you ready to go for a walk? And I walked down the driveway, went across the street to Veronica's, knocked on her door, said, hi, Veronica, I got this little fox here. And she's like, oh, he's not in the cage? I said, no. And this little guy, and I scratched his head. I go, this little guy's very tame. He's very nice. She goes, I've never seen anything like it. Well, anyway, she rehabilitated him, got him back to normal, and then called me and said, oh, I released him, you know, back over behind my house, because that's where he was, and you don't want to take him too far from their foraging paths. And so every now and then, I still see him out there on a security camera. He comes through the security camera. But after he was released, the very next day, I heard this yelling in my driveway. And I went out and I looked over I was on my porch. I looked down, and there's Foxy in the driveway, looking beautiful. His tail was nice. His coat looked gorgeous. And he's going, ah, 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 ah. It's like, you know, yelling at me. And I said, oh, Foxy, you look great. You know, and obviously, I don't think he was, you know, thanking me or anything like that. But, you know, I wouldn't put it past them. Some animals do have a way of imprinting on humans, right? So I thought that was pretty cool.
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss story, The Fox in the Box.
Oh, well, I never read that story, but I guess he was a fox in a box. It sort of goes without saying, right?
Sounds like. My sister had a fox up at their place in the mountains here, and she had a way with animals. She still does, I guess. Has a way with animals, and she coaxed this fox to come up and eat from her hand, and then there was no getting rid of the thing. She fed it hot dogs. They loved hot dogs.
Yeah, I see. Hot dogs are a dangerous thing to feed wild animals because they look too much like fingers. So if you extend fingers to an animal, and it might think you're extending 4 hot dogs. Oh, hot dogs! It doesn't mean to bite you. So I don't give them hot dogs, but I do give them things that don't look like anything human.
We have, rabies here, but I had what I thought was a rabid squirrel out in the street in front of my house last year.
Really?
I wouldn't get within 100 feet of that thing.
I wouldn't blame you. Neither would I.
Yeah. And we have bubonic plague here too. We have prairie dog towns here, and the plague hangs out in prairie dogs.
Mm-hmm. And the
That's
fleas.
Another thing. Yeah. Another thing, you wouldn't get me within a mile. That was a prairie dog town.
Yeah. I was surrounded by a prairie dog town out in Devil's Tower, Wyoming. Hewlett, Wyoming.
Yeah.
On the way up to Devil's Tower, there's a prairie dog town on the road there as you're going up. And you stop and get out, and there's prairie dogs all over the place, you know. But they're cute, you know, from a distance. I don't need to be close to prairie dogs, you know. I don't need to be close to many animals. They just come close to me. I don't know why.
They know you're a soft touch.
Maybe.
Or nice guy.
Maybe. I mean, you know about the skunk I had he walked into my garage and he imprinted on me, and this wild skunk was walking around with me for like a couple of weeks in my garage. I'd leave it open every day and he'd come on in. And we'd hang out and talk. I called him Skunky because duh, what else? You know. And Skunky was great, you know, until someone called animal control because they watched him walk in my garage and thought, oh no, a skunk in someone's house. And then they made me get rid of him, you know. So I shoot him down the embankment next to the house, and that was it. But Skunky would lay on the floor. I'd pet him. He'd roll on his side, and I'd scratch his belly, and he loved it. He was like a cat or a dog. This is a wild skunk. He smelled like a skunk too, but you know, after a while, you don't even notice the smell. I hate to tell you that's the truth, but it's the truth. You know?
Well, you get used to the smell of anything if you're around it or not.
Yeah, it's true. You know.
I'll have to take your word for it on the skunks.
Yeah,
we had one here in the neighborhood. I'd see him out and about after dark, and he'd just go marching down the middle of the street like he owned the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Going to look for garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you know the story too, but after I shoot him down the embankment, very grudgingly, I was mad at the animal control guy. He shows up with a snare and a hazmat suit and a face shield. And I said, for this guy who's sitting right next to me on his haunches. And the guy's like, yeah, I gotta take him. I go, you are not taking this skunk. He goes, well, he can't stay here. I goes, it's my yard, my skunk. And he goes, town ordinance, you're going to have to get rid of him. I have to take him. And I said, no, you're not taking him. And he says, well, then he's got to go. So I got mad, and I said, all right, whatever. So I actually patted the skunk on the butt with his tail going up in the air. He wasn't going to spray me. I knew it. Down the embankment he went. And I didn't see him for like 6 months, and I was really mad at that animal control guy. Yeah, jerk, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, I came home one day, and I drove up the driveway. It's nighttime. And the light goes on before I get to the top of the driveway because something turned the light on, and it was Skunky. And he was all excited. He was doing little whirls around my feet and stuff, like, you know, making that noise. Like, that's kind of like the noise he makes. And I was like, Skunky, you look great, man. I'm so good, happy to see you. And then I I looked to my right, and I saw 5 more pairs of eyes. 2 big pair and 4 little pair. And it was like, oh, he had babies, you know. And the mother skunk was going out of her mind, you know, like, get over here, Frank, don't, those things are dirty. You know, but it was a really neat experience. And then they stayed over there, and then Skunky finally went back to his family and disappeared down the embankment. And maybe did you know that Skunky actually came back a few months ago? Was it like the beginning of just the beginning of the winter, I think, before he went under the shed where he lives now. He came back out on the front lawn because he saw me walking out to where the old observatory was, and I had a headlamp on. And I looked over and I saw this white thing slinking along the ground. And then I saw the rest of him. It's like, oh, that's a skunk. And I went, Skunky, is that you? And then he started running toward me at full speed. You know, I was like, Skunky! I'm thinking to myself, that better be Skunky. Because he was actually very white. He's very old now. He's older. He's got a lot of gray. And he came close, and then the headlamp spooked him. Because it went right in his eyes, and he spun around and ran back. He said, oh, Skunky, no, come back. I'm sorry. And he went right under the shed. But he I guess he decided to live under the shed, which is nice. I had no problem with that.
More power to you.
Well, they're nice. You know, they're little animals. You know, we're stewards of the planet. We're not here to rush them off the planet anywhere. Bonnie says baby skunks are so adorable. Yeah, they are. You know, their little tiny claws. You know, they're going.
That's another one of those things like avalanches and runaway trains. I try to keep my distance from. My sister and her husband, when they lived up in the high country here, they had a little cabin up on top of a hill, and their dog Zach, who was a big old mud of a dog, he was a great dog. They had a deck out front and sliding glass doors on the front of the cabin, and Zach was throwing a fit one night. He wanted out really bad. They were in bed.
Okay.
And my brother-in-law got up, and he didn't turn the lights on, but he slid the glass door open, and Zach took off like a rocket out the front door.
Uh-oh.
And what my brother-in-law didn't see was that a skunk was out eating Zach's dog food. And Zach took great exception to that, and he charged the skunk. The skunk turned around and fired on Zach, and Zach did a backflip into the house. And the skunk kept on squirting, and he painted the carpet in the living room really good with his stick. Plus, Zach got it right in the eye, so he started wriggling himself all over the carpet, rubbing the stink in even worse. And that was enough of a lesson for me to keep skunks at a respectable distance.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I mean, if I had a dog outside of me, I would have been encountering the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's what it is, you know. I mean, but you know, they're good. I mean, whenever I take Dingo for a walk at this field nearby, it seems that during the spring and summer months, every time I walk her, we find a bear, or should I say, a bear finds us, and it's always just sitting right on the side of the path, looking at me. And I give them all names. Barry, hey Barry, how's it going? I'm human guy. And I clap, say, hey, I'm a bear. And Dingo says, oh, a playmate. And Dingo runs up to try and play. And then the bear goes, what's that? And just turns and tail and runs. And then Dingo chases it until she loses it in the woods. And I'm thinking, oh man, Dingo, you know. But, you know, in a populated area, you don't want bears to be familiar with people anyway. So that's wise. That's wise.
Yep.
So what I've just done, if in case you noticed, I saved it, and there was a green bar that came across the top. So it's been saved now. It has this name, Cosmic Bat Nebula. That's the name it'll have in this directory when it's up on the server where it's going right now as we speak. And that'll be there. And I saved this image as we see it here.
Before you leave,
yeah,
can you zoom in on the two stars in the right part?
Up here, yeah, sure.
Pretty
Great
place.
idea. Yeah. I'm leaving the stack for now. We're just not stacking anymore at the moment. But let's just zoom in. We've stacked 37. So let's go to 100%. We won't have any noise. And then let's bring it up. Okay. Looks like the focus is good. Here we go.
Oh, it's nice.
That's pretty cool. Beautiful little reflection nebula here that is the focal point of the Cosmic Bat. And makes sense too, because around it you see the brownish dust, interstellar dust. And that brownish dust is illuminated by the stars in here out to a certain distance. And the reason it's blue is because the dust particles are scattering the star's blue light. Kind of like this, like the blue sky in our Earth's atmosphere. Izabela says, I read someone in Twitter wrote they found a bear in their basement in Connecticut. It was sleeping or hibernating. Yeah, that's when you move out, because you don't move a hibernating bear. That's unwise. They chose that place for a reason. And if it's in their basement, I'd have to ask why it's there and how it got in. Hello, Cindy. Go ahead,
I'd call the Division of Wildlife. They could come tranquilize the bear and move it.
Yeah, I agree. If I had a bear in my basement, I would certainly not be able to leave it there. Oh, by the way, that rehab lady whose house I brought the fox to, that house yesterday morning burned down. And it's right across the street, and I was awakened by the fire. And she had passed away, not in the house during the fire, but a couple of years ago, as did her husband. And so her son lives there. And real nice guy, very quiet, upstanding guy, works very, very hard. And he was working at night, and he came home in the morning to find his house is gone.
Wow.
And I looked out the window when I heard this loud bang, 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 bang. I thought it was wood crackling. I looked out the window, and I'm looking at a house with 40-foot flames coming out of the top of it. I'm like, oh, that's right across the street. I took a few pictures of it, and I think they'll be helpful to the fire department to determine what caused it. If they think they know what caused it. But the bang that I heard wasn't wood cracking. He had 45 caliber ammunition in the house in these ammo cans, and it was cooking off in the cans, and you were hearing the popping of this ammunition in the cans. And they look like shredded shrapnel. And there was some in the back of a pickup truck yesterday when I looked at it. Very, it was a freak accident with this fire. The bricks were cracked in his fireplace, and he had a fire going in a wood stove, packed it up, and maybe there was a chimney fire, which of course heats up the chimney very hot. I saw like a blowtorch coming out on top of his chimney in one of my photos, and that kind of indicates a potential chimney fire. Yeah. And anyway, that was bad. All right, but the house is a total loss. You could see right through it when the fire was out. That was at 5 o'clock yesterday morning. 5 o'clock was when I saw it. There was one cop there when I looked out the window. And by the time I was dressed and out there, 4 fire trucks, every truck we had in the town was there. And my son, ever thinking, he went down with an armful of blankets in case there were people in the house who were going to be cold now. And he was going to bring blankets to keep them warm. Luckily, there was nobody there. So we weren't sure we weren't going to have to rescue people, but luckily we didn't have to.
He built the fire and left?
Well, he packed the wood stove, and we often do that. We load up the wood stove before going to bed, right?
Yeah.
Well, he loaded up the wood stove before going to work. And what I didn't hear were smoke alarms. So either by the time the fire was going, they might have cut through the electrical. They might have burned through the electrical wire, or burned the smoke alarms down. So, okay. Well, now you can see a little bit more of the Cosmic Bat. And what we're going to do now is, since we paused it, I will clear this stack. And this is up on the server, probably on its way now. So we'll have time to see it. You'll have time to see it here before we're even done with this stream, I would imagine. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. It's nice to see you. There's Rock. Rock is here with us. How you doing, man? And Vera Lucia Campos is here from Brasilia. Welcome to you. So nice to see you. And okay, this is our hybrid view that I call it. We have moon glow on the eastern horizon right now, so that's why the camera's very sensitive. So the moon doesn't come up for a while, but the moon glow precedes it by a substantial amount of time. See, we're right above the Witch's Head, Daryl.
Yeah.
Should we try a shot of the Witch's Head?
Sure, why not?
Let's go down and do that. Let's change our... let's just do this. Let's see. Alright, we're going to change our speed from that to this. Like half a degree per second. And down we go. Alright. And that should put us right there. Alright. So that's where we are now. And we're going to say, if we're there, we should have this right about here. Now, it doesn't look it right now, but I think it's right there. So what we're going to do is, we're going to do a 45-second shot of this. And I'm just giving a few more seconds for the guide star to be acquired. There's a second telescope on top of this, by the way. If you guys didn't notice, that telescope is there. The telescope control is up there. Over here is camera control, and then the main view here, and the computer to the telescope is right here. And so, as I do this, 45 seconds should be good enough for us to see the Witch's Head. So let's get into our live stack here. And it'll look black for a while until this green bar is full. And after this green bar is full, we'll get our first image. And it's Marianne Robb. Hello. By the way, I just wanted to officially tell you at this point that SkyTour livestream has taken a leap forward. As we speak, Starlink is being delivered to our observatory in the desert.
All right.
We'll have it Sunday. That's what they say. And I already have people that are probably going to be able to install it. Marianne, I talked to Chuck about it, and he says that he and Dale can probably install it. Alright. So, okay. Witch's Head looks pretty. We got it. And there it is. Oh, look at that. Wow.
Maybe you ought to pan down a little bit.
I know, but I think we're going to be talking about doing a multiple shot here. We're going to just do it here, then do it down below, and then mosaic these together. I got an application that allows us to mosaic directly. So we're going to use that.
Yeah,
So let's do this section first. What are you going to say, Darryl?
Oh, you're cutting her nose right in the middle.
I know that. Well, she's a witch. She deserves to get her nose cut off, don't you think? The spider face.
Just throw some water on her.
That's right. Melting.
I'm melting. I'm melting.
That's right.
I always
Right.
thought the witch head looks just like, what's her name? She played the witch in The Wizard of Oz, Margaret Hamilton.
Yes. You think it looks like her?
I always thought so.
Oh. Well, it's hard, I guess, because it's not upside down, right? Right? It's because it's not upside down.
That would help, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just imagine Margaret Hamilton standing on her head.
Yeah. I guess.
And your little dog, too.
And your little dog, too. Okay. Ah, I see. There we go. There's the Witch's Head Nebula. Yes, this is Sky through live stream. Thank you very much. And remember to hit the thumbs up. That helps us. Very much so. Okay, let's now that we know it's the Witch's Head, we don't have to leave that up the whole time. You can actually see the spectacularity. And then what we'll do is I will make this full screen. Come here, you. Foop. Come on out. There we go. And now we can see this grow in its own on its own here. So there we go. I'm just here and there. So I'm looking over there. See, I got that. Nothing. So that's pretty. That's a beautiful nebula. Yeah, it looks nice. And after we're done with this, we're actually going to drop down till we have this and what's below. Okay, and we're going to do another set of shots like that. We won't do like 50,000, but we're going to do a few of them. All right.
Okay.
So what we're doing here now is we've stacked 5 of these so far, and we'll go to 8 to 10, and we'll do the same thing on the southern half. And then later I'll put it together and I'll allow you to see that put together one. Alright. Okay, first thing, actually one thing I gotta do is I got to do a color correction to kind of get this to the right color. It's not quite the right color, so let's do that. Alright, let's try that. There we go, that's better. That's better. Yes, the dog's in here. Yeah, or maybe not. I'm streaming. It's okay. You can say hi. Hi. Hey, Jody says hi, everybody.
Hi, Jody.
Daryl said hi. She said hi. Okay, I just stoked it. All right, so there we go. That looks nice. Hey there, Shy. How are you? East or west? This is the Wicked Witch of the West, right?
I think so.
Glenda was the Wicked Witch of the North?
She was the good.
East?
She was the good witch.
Yeah, the good witch. The bad witch is the one that's this one here. This is the bad witch.
The good witch was the hot one. She was the blonde.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Fantasy says they kind of look like the Easter Island Moai, which are the Easter Island heads. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, what do we got here? We have 8 stacked, okay, and we're going up on 9. Okay, let me do a color correction again.
If you were going to mosaic them, would you try to get the same number of exposures for
Yes.
each half?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I would do the same number of frames. So I will do. Okay, this is 9 frames. We'll pause it right there. All right, we'll say pause. Now we'll save it. And I shouldn't have saved it yet. I did one thing wrong. I gotta say. This is the Witch's Head North. Why is it? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I know. All right. Let me do this again. Witch's Head North. I'm filling in that area up top there so you can see. All right. So that's our save. And I'm going to save it one more time, so it's going to be in its own directory. There'll be a false directory created with the wrong thing in it, but don't worry about that. Okay, so that's the FITS file. That is the astronomical format file, FITS, but you need a reader to look at that, but that's actually the raw data. Okay, so people that want to process these themselves will take that. What we do is we save it exactly as seen, so you get what you see right here. What you see is what you get. So that becomes what you see. All right. So now, let us clear this. All right. And get out of the live stack here. Go back to, and notice the timing, it's 45 seconds. We're going to go back to 1 second now. All right. 1 second. And this star here is an orange star. We're going to put that just out of the view, and we're going to be right around here. So let's come back to this. Let's pull it out. And let's bring me back down to where I belong. Okay. And let's get that back to where it belongs. Come on. Do your thing. Okay. That won't be nice if it's... Okay, that's better. Thank you. All right, let's get back here. Okay. Once in a while this happens. Can't explain it, but it does it. It makes a mess of things for a couple minutes, and I don't know why it does that.
What happened?
Oh, it resets every panel on the screen that I've moved around, and I don't know why. You know, it just does it. And I don't like it, but it does what it wants to do sometimes. Okay. All right, so that's this. That's this. Okay. All right. And now, how about this guy? This is our red star, right? So 1 second exposure. Good. And now let me bring us down south a little bit. Okay, a little bit more, but I'm going to drop down to 16 times guiding speed. Come on. All right, let's go. Hey, Jessica S. Good to see you. All right. Let's see where we are here. I think we still want to go a little more. I think this is where you want to be. So. Make an adjustment. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this back to 45,000. I'm sorry, 45 seconds, which is 45,000 milliseconds. All right, and we'll go back and do another stack and see what we've got. Okay, and this is going to be, which is head south. I cannot wait for Starlink because right now, in case you notice, you might notice, everything I do, there's a 1 to 3 second delay because of the speed of the internet with the Viasat satellite internet out in the desert. That's going to change. It's going to be more real time and reliable. Sometimes the system just goes down for no reason. What do we got?
Pretty bright star there at the lower left.
Yeah. Let me see how far down I went. I wonder if I went too far.
No, that's assuming the one on the 3 there on the left, the brightest one would be if that's the Curciel Jowza that Fantasy was talking about. The marriage chair.
Yeah. Okay, well that's just the only problem with this exposure is it's too far to the east.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Alright, so let me
maybe put Curciel Jowza right in the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
Or even a little farther.
Yeah, first things first, I'm going to move this over. Okay. And it's going to go even further than that, I think, Daryl.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go back to 1 second here. Let's move this star into the lower left corner. And then I think we'll be aligned. Because it's on an angle. Alright, okay. So let's do that. First things first, let's go to 1 second here. We're going to go to 1 second. We're going to get rid of the stack here in a minute. And we'll bring that over and then do our second exposure. Okay, stack is gone. We'll be clearing it when we come in the next time. Alright, 1 second exposure. Boom. Bam. There we go. And now let's bring this to the west a little bit. There we go. Yes, and you can see it coming in. Alright, there we go. Okay, one more little jog. Get that star here over to the left. And I think we're good. Okay, telescope will now get its guide star. And then we can start our exposures. Okay, 45 seconds. You know your stream is going places when you get spammers putting in spam. Alright. We have our guide star. Nothing. I got wonderful mods to get rid of them. Let's see what Fantasy says. Mods getting target practice. Hey, DD, remember like DDB was our sniper.
Looks like 3 of us all took shots at him.
Yeah. I didn't. You guys did. You did it. Izabela did it. It's like, and then Fantasy. It's like, hey, he didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
Shay says, Kansas flat factor is 0.9. I don't know what that comment means, but I'm sure someone can explain because you're probably in a conversation. Okay, we're going to get rid of this, clear it, wait for the next one. Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to put in slow chat. Fantasy says there's a way to combat spammers. You can change the settings so people who are subscribed for more than 1 minute can only comment. But I want people that aren't subscribed to be able to comment as well, because sometimes they might choose to subscribe based on their interaction in the comments. But thank you. Alright, so we got this, and then we have this. This is a galaxy, if I recall, that it's also in that lower part.
Yeah. There's one or two more over on the upper right.
Yeah, up here.
Yep.
And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Amazing to think that when we're looking at this, we're actually seeing potentially hundreds and hundreds of millions of other life forms possibly in this image, and we don't even know it. Same thing here. Same thing here. You know? Just amazing. Alright, let's do a color balance here. Okay. Oh no, Vera. Her internet is suffering. No, Vera, no! Don't go! No! That's no good. Wow. Well, this would be a pretty shot to Mosaic. I might have gone a little too far, maybe not. Yeah. And Papa Tom is with us. Thanks for commenting there, Daryl. I didn't see it. Petita's here, PG. Michael with an M. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. He says, I love it when I sign on and see Sky Tour going live. Well, I love when I can go live. Like I said, with over 300 clear nights a year out there, you know, you can understand why we wanted to set up there. And I mentioned earlier that Starlink will be delivered Sunday, so we're going to have much faster service now through the internet. You see this lagging here. You'll see incomplete pictures. You'll see sometimes it takes a while, several seconds sometimes, to get a click in response. And that's because we're using satellite internet out there that is very slow to begin with. So sometimes the service goes up and down, and when that happens, we can be knocked right off for a period of seconds, and sometimes the screen goes black and you gotta wait for it to come back. It's like, I don't like that. This white box is the interface to the program I wrote to run the observatory, and we don't need that up. See, I just dragged it and it didn't pick it up because it's not active right now. There we go. Okay. That's nice, Michael. You know, Michael says, glad you're getting faster service, but to be honest, I've never noticed. That's because I don't make a big stink about it, you know, Michael. I just, you know, accept it and move forward. Hey there, Neo Smoke. So you can basically use your telescope to look at your router. That's very funny. Yeah, our routing satellite will go through the view more than once, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, Storm Eunice is hitting UK, and I saw that people were watching the live Heathrow stream. Yeah. The guy commenting is hilarious. You know, oh, good job, guys. Good job. That was beautiful. Spot on. You know, I like how he comments. It's funny. Actually, no, Shay. That's not a record. because we're part of a stream when there was a lunar eclipse. P&K Space Imaging, they had 600 and something thousand watching at the same time. We had 5,000. We were actually a much smaller stream at that time, and then we ended up growing a little bit. But yeah, so 200,000 is still pretty sizable. And over the course of 2 days, they ended up with over 6 million views. So that's pretty good. But sadly, we're the ones that caught the meteor that struck the moon. They missed it. We saw it. We got it right in our stream, and you can see it. Boom. You can see it hit. The height of the lunar eclipse. The moon was red, and pow, you saw a meteor hit the moon. That's something you don't see every day. Okay, 8 stacked here. How many did we do? Did we do 8 or 9? It was 9, I think.
9.
Yeah, so and this one is the last one for this. And then we'll be done with this object. And then I'll mosaic it later, unless you guys want to do it as well. Oh, it's a beautiful night sky, Neo. It's just pretty. Okay, and there we go. We have 9 stacked here, so we are going to pause this. I'm going to hit the save button right there, and the save, you'll see a bar go up across the top. It's saving to our local machine out in the observatory building, and then it's immediately shipped off to our server. And then I'm going to save it exactly as seen, and you'll see up here, you'll see a ping file right there. There it is, PNG. That's a regular graphics file that you can click on and load. In the description of the stream, the site for the server is listed. You could click on it, go to the server, and check out all the things that we do images of. And actually, you can see them for the last several months. It's all free. You can take them, do whatever you like with them. But if you do want to use them in some kind of articles, we don't want money or anything. We just want you to credit us. That's all. That's all we want. Just get appropriate credit. Alright, so this one is done. Yeah, this is up here you see the title, Witch's Head South. Okay, and
is that something new, or has that always been there? Have you just started using it recently?
It's just something I started using. I realized it names the directories on the server for me automatically.
Okay.
Which is nice. Yeah. So wherever we go, I gotta remember to put this in first. I have to name that, I should say, first. Or at the very least, delete what's in it. Which it just did. And see how long it took? It took like 4 seconds for it to actually delete. Alright, let's see now. Going back to our wonderful live planetarium that is a controlling system for the telescope. Clicked on it a while ago. Yeah, you can see our internet speed is suffering a little bit here. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about the Spirograph Nebula, but it's actually pretty small. Oh my, okay. This is definitely slow right now.
Moon rises in about 3 or 4 minutes at your location, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna go over here and see if I can repeat the wonderful seeing that we had the other night. Because this is about as high as it gets in the sky right now, this region of Orion. Did you guys see my Facebook post about the Running Man Nebula down here? I was actually showing you the deep shot of the Running Man that I took last night. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go. Let's say we'll go here. All right, that'll get us there in the ballpark. Off we go. You can watch the telescope over my head. It's gonna start moving around. There it goes. And it's gonna go to a bright star, but you might not see it because we have to take this and go to our 1 second exposure rate because it's at 45 right now. There we go. Zoom. All right, and now I'm wondering which star is gonna go to here. Probably it's usually Bellatrix or Saif. Let's find out if it'll let us. Well, it doesn't matter. It's already going to where we're gonna go. There we go. This is Alnitak, the leftmost star in Orion's belt. It's a O-class star, very, very hot. Most of its energy is given off in the ultraviolet range, and the ultraviolet energy excites hydrogen atoms in this nebula and causes them to glow. Similarly, this star here, Sigma Orionis, which is actually rapidly becoming one of my favorite stars too, Daryl, because of its multiple star nature. This is the star that has anywhere from 4 to 6 components. I think you said 6, Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like
stars.
at least 6 stars in there. 2 pairs are spectroscopic binaries. That is, they're so close that we can't split them.
Yeah, not without a telescope that has the capability of looking at the different spectra. I actually have a spectroscope sitting right behind me that could go on a telescope and give us all that data. We can actually see the spectroscopic pairs. The only trouble is that people that are interested in coming to the sky through a live stream may not want to see that because it's kind of boring, you know.
Looks like you're pixelating all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, that's again, it's a quality issue out in the desert. But I'm just checking the focus, and I think we have a little bit of an adjustment to make.
I read some article this morning, and now the name of the satellite escapes me. It took the place of the test satellite, I believe. Says they've detected 200 quadruple stars.
Tess's mission is still ongoing, though.
Tess, or who am I thinking of? I don't remember.
Are you sure it's not Tess you're thinking of?
Maybe.
That took the place of Kepler?
Oh, okay, yes, that's it. It took the place of Kepler.
Okay, so that's Tess.
Yeah.
Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Created and launched by Orbital ATK, which is a company, the president of which I actually worked for. So I know him, and he actually got in touch with me to let me know when it was launching, and he said, look out your southern window and southern exposure, and you'll see it rise around 90 seconds after launch from Virginia. You'll see it going, and we did. I saw it launch. So there we go. Okay, all right, this is focused now. All right. Temperature in the building out there right now is, it started at 61, and now it's down to 54.6 in the time that we got started here. So I'm going to do this, do that, and let it crank away on its own. Look how beautiful the stars look. And this pixelation is only because of the internet quality. It doesn't affect what you actually get in the final imagery. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so let's go back now to our view. What are we looking at? Oh, 1 second. Why is that there? That's weirdly there. There's something, you said, a little file right there. It's one of my flat field files. Genghis, what's up? I'll remove it. Okay. So, I should have my guide start right now. And we're going to do a 45-second shot. No, let's actually do at 300. Let's do a straight 30-second shot. All right. All right, we're underway. And let's zoom out to the full screen. And now let's go into our live stack. All right. And we got, as I mentioned, we're going to remove that. We're going to clear this as the previous stack. Clear. And then the next one comes in right on its heels. So let's see what we got.
There was an interesting article a couple of days ago too. I think Anton Petrov did a video about it also. There's a new multispectral image of Eta Carinae out there.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
They did it in X-ray. They did it in infrared. They did it in UV, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then they put them all together so you could see them at different lights. You could see in different light.
Yeah.
Really good. That's a really nice image.
And he talked about Eta Carinae, the star. I wound up looking up particulars of that. Eta Carinae, folks, if you haven't heard of it, it's a star that a couple hundred years ago, it was barely or not even visible to the naked eye, and then it suddenly flared tremendously in brightness, so that it was the second brightest star in the whole sky, and then it quieted down again. It's a huge star at the heart of the Carinae Nebula. It's inside the innermost part of the nebula, which is called the homunculus, which means little man shape. And they have trouble seeing it because of all the nebulosity cover and dust covering the star. But it's at least a double star, and it's like maybe a couple hundred solar masses and maybe about 1 million times as bright as the sun. I forget the particulars. And what is it? It's a luminous blue variable. The article I read said that it may be on its way to being a Wolf-Rayet star, like in Thor's helmet, but it may not last long enough to make it to Wolf-Rayet status. Putting out tremendous amount of energy, and it may go straight to supernova before it ever gets to Wolf-Rayet status. It's a really interesting article.
Wolf-Rayet status, for those who don't know what that means, Wolf-Rayet stars are a special kind of highly luminous hot star that they tend to, without exploding, they tend to blow off a lot of their outer envelope. Like the sun has a core, that's fusing hydrogen into helium. Well, these bigger stars, more massive stars, will be making helium into carbon, carbon into nitrogen, oxygen, all the way to iron in the biggest of the stars. But some of these stars will actually go through a process that's somewhat understood, but not fully understood, where they will expel a lot of their outer gas envelopes. And that's not a big deal because the only stuff that's actually fusing and doing the energy that makes a star is in the core. You know, the stuff outside is just hanging out because that was there to begin with. It adds mass to send heat and pressure down into the core where the fusion of heavier elements can begin. But once that outer envelope expels, now you have just that hot core that's doing its thing. And it's a lot more complicated than that, but suffice it to say that that core can eventually explode in a supernova. I really, really want to see that someday, to be honest with you. I'd like to see that. I want that. Please. Please, Betelgeuse, please explode. Bam! I want to see that. Daryl doesn't like when I say that. He likes Betelgeuse. Well, who doesn't? It's a beautiful red star. But Daryl, imagine... Imagine, Spock, if the star blew up then, we'd have a cloud. An interstellar cloud, Spock. It would expand, and we'd actually get to watch an expanding supernova that's only 750 light years away from us. It would advance our understanding of supernovae 1,000-fold. Because the only supernova we see are in other galaxies.
Yeah. And that's a weird kind of coincidence all by itself that the last supernova in our galaxy happened, if I remember correctly, right about the time that the telescope was invented, so to speak, wasn't it? Cassiopeia A?
Yeah, that's right. When was Cassiopeia A? Cassiopeia is the W in the sky.
Or, yeah. The point with Eta Carinae, we can't see it from most places in the northern sky. It's too far south. It's down in the constellation Carina, the Keel, part of the old constellation Argo Navis, the ship that Jason and the Argonauts sailed in to go get the Golden Fleece. I think you have to be south of 30 degrees north latitude and able to see it, because it's at about 60 degrees south. But boy, if you talk about if one that ever goes supernova, Eta Carinae, I bet would be one to see.
Yeah, I mean, we also did have a supernova down there, 1987A.
Yep.
And that was a real pretty nebula. I mean, we learned a lot from that one too. This is the Horsehead Nebula with the Flame Nebula above it. That's the thing here next to Alnitak. And this is the Horsehead Nebula, named for that reason. It looks like one. We're a little bit compromised with our internet speed tonight, but hopefully that's all coming to a rip-roaring end with the installation of Starlink over the next week or so. And that will be just incredible. We'll no longer have any of these weird delays. Okay, now this is beautiful. The red color is due to hydrogen atoms that are being ionized. Now, hydrogen is a proton with an electron going around, right? And if that electron receives a lot of ultraviolet energy from nearby stars, like from this star right here, okay, and like from this star right here, then that electron bounces off the atom. But it doesn't stay out there for long. When it finally comes back into the atom, in doing so, a process called recombination, it gives off light, and that light is a characteristically red light. All right, we call it hydrogen alpha, H2, that's H with, II, like Roman numeral 2, or hydrogen alpha. And so this is what we see here, the glow red of the hydrogen alpha regions. These are typically seen in star-forming regions and also in places like this, around very hot stars that are causing the gas to glow. It's a soft glow. These here, when they're soft like this, these are called diffuse nebulae. Okay?
Whoop.
These
Excuse
here,
me.
sure. These here are called dark nebulae. All right, because they're dark dust. And like this is the Flame Nebula we talked about. And that's like those fingers of dark dust are here. And the bright nebula is back here behind it. And they're obscuring what's behind it. You can't see what's behind it because those fingers of dust are obscuring it. So that's the way to look at this, right? It's not a void in the stars. It's overlying material that's hiding the bright nebula back here. Okay? So I want to say hi to Michael McCall and One Man. I said hi to you, Genghis, but I'll say it again. Hello, Genghis. And say welcome. I don't remember seeing you here before. Marco's been here. Nice to see you. That's good. So far, so good. And Daryl just got a call from the President of the United States, so hopefully that wasn't so important that you can't come back to the stream now. And he is. He's back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Nah, junk phone calls.
Oh,
All
as
I
usual,
get
right?
are spam calls.
No.
I kid you not. 99% of all my phone calls are junk.
Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, we've stacked 19 of these, as you can see right here. And we're going to 20.
The colors are prettier tonight. I agree. One other time we looked at this recently, it was very bright red and a little more restrained tonight. It shows you the difference in the colors between the flame and the horsehead.
Yeah, this is a more golden color like you often point out.
Yeah.
And this is red. I think that golden color also has to do with the fact that it's muted because the hydrogen emission is deep within a dust cloud. So it's actually, the colors are somewhat muted.
Yeah.
And that definitely has a lot to do with it. These are more exposed here and here. And we know what that is. So come here, you. All right. So we'll see these diffuse nebulae like this. These are just beautiful nebulae right here. These are just stunning. You know, we've done 22 of these. Let's zoom in. I like zooming in too. With the internet kind of slow like this, it's kind of hard. But we can still try to see if we can catch some details that we might not otherwise see. Yeah, see, it looks pixelated right now, but that clears up. It clears up over time because the actual image that's saved is nowhere. There's nothing like that at all. There's no pixelation in that final image. Okay, and the moon is up right now, and being that the moon is up, our sky has just gotten significantly brighter. But I'm using a filter that can help prevent that from being an overtaking and night-ending dilemma. Yeah, see this is it's suffering from the internet issue tonight, but it's usually really pretty. One thing I can try is I go into enhancement here and turn on the unsharp mask, which is a sharpening tool. Turn that on and you should see in here. Okay, it just made it sharper, but it's a little too sharp, so I'm going to back that off. I'm going to come down to 1.5. .44. That's a interesting number. We brought it down to 1.44. 1.44 is a very special number in stellar physics, because that's the mass that the white dwarf, the remains of a star like the sun, when it shrinks down after going to a red giant, shrinking down to make a planetary nebula. At that point, it's when it's not supernova. It's just like a red, goes to a red giant and then shrinks. When it gets to a white dwarf, the white dwarf cannot exceed 1.44 times the solar mass. If it does,
Sakar limit.
That's right, Chandrasekhar limit. You're right, and that limit limits the size of the white dwarf. If it is in a binary system, where the other star goes to a red giant at some point and starts leaking material across the common center of rotation called the barycenter, that could settle on that white dwarf, and that could cause one of two things to happen. It could cause the white dwarf to go beyond 1.44 solar masses, at which point theoretically the white dwarf could continue collapsing and become a neutron star. But in practicality, what happens typically, from what we understand, is that the white dwarf in fact then suddenly starts fusing all of that hydrogen on its surface, and that process could destroy the star and destroy the white dwarf, and thus the white dwarf can explode and go supernova. That's a particular type of supernova, the type 1A supernova. A type 2 supernova is the kind where the star basically runs out of all its fuel and collapses on itself effectively. That's called a core collapse supernova, and that kind of supernova is the one that Betelgeuse will go through, for instance. All right. See, if we leave it here for a long period of time, see how it's getting better? See, it's starting to shape out a little better now. Up here. Yeah, Horsehead is beautiful. You can see all these stunning little lighter clouds, things that never ever been available to us in the past are now available to us because we're looking at a beautiful region in the universe. There's another one over here, and I know we're getting that pixelation, but here's another one of those blue reflection nebulae. Again, these are blue because these stars are immersed in this dark dust. All right, and this is all dust here. It's not a void. This is dust, and it's hard to understand that sometimes. And Daryl and I have talked about this before. But when you look here at this region, everywhere you look is a dark dust. That's not how it is for the entire universe. This is just how it is with Orion, because this is part of something called the OMCC, which is the Orion Molecular Cloud Complex. And so it's a gigantic cloud of dark dust that sits in this region. And when there's a star that forms, like Alnitak is only a few million years old. When Alnitak formed, the first thing it did was it began to ionize this hydrogen gas in this nebula area. And the dust is mixed with hydrogen gas, of course. And so we do get these different types of nebulae as we see from time to time. It's really just beautiful.
Orion is a happening place.
Orion is a major happening place. Let's do a color correction again here. Let's go back to our histogram tab and do a color correction on this. We'll see this greenish blue turn to blacker and red. There you go. Now that's more like what it really is right there. You'll notice how clean this looks now. It looks a little better. Notice this looks like clouds of cotton, doesn't it? Little clouds of cotton turning the corner. That could very well be what that looks like. In reality, it could be this wall of cottony type dust that has been blown away from this star, or this could be the logical edge of a cloud. It's just an amazing location. I'll say this, it's probably a lifeless region too. But yes, Vera Lucia Campos says, can't wait till Mark installs the other telescope. I can't either, Vera. I can't either. We've got so many possibilities. So many possibilities.
I've heard you drop hints about that lately. Can you say anything about what it is?
You want it to be a Rasa, but it's not a Rasa.
Yeah. I don't care. I don't care about the Rasa.
Oh, I would like it to be a Rasa. A Rasa is a
Well,
specific.
I have thought if you had a Rasa, it could take the place of your Hyperstar,
Yes,
and
it could.
you could run it F8 again.
Yep. Which I would do, but I prefer to get a higher focal length instrument.
Yes.
I darkened this up to give it just that little bit more. And while we're waiting here, we've got 37 images stacked here. Let's just go full frame, right? I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't argue with this. Let me pull the name. You guys have seen this, but you know what this is. Get off of there. Look at
Mark,
that.
could you excuse me a moment, please?
Sure thing.
Thank you. Be right back.
Okay. Izabela, the only thing stopping me from putting one in the southern hemisphere is a place to put it. I have, if we get a southern hemisphere telescope location, we can initiate putting one in there. And that's something that I think would be kind of cool. Michael Clegg is that the Rasa, this right now, we're kind of effectively performing equally to a Rasa right now. This is effectively Rasa type performance that we're getting for a lot less cost. We're f8 telescope naturally, and we're running at f2 photographically. And for those that don't know, when you look at a camera, you see how it has those markings on the lens. It says 2, 8, 16, 22, etc. Those are the aperture sizes, right? When an aperture is really small, only a little bit of light gets in, right? And when the aperture is really big, then a lot of light gets in. Well, effectively, we've converted the telescope, which is only a 10-inch aperture, okay, to a telescope that is acting like it's 25 times bigger than it is. And we're getting this shot right here is, as we said, a 30-second shot. This is a 30-second shot of the splendorous area. We're getting all this very faint nebula detail out here, and the moon is up. Okay, so what this is telling you is it really is something else, this particular lens system we've added to the telescope to make it run at f2. It's called a Hyperstar. It's by Starizona. Starizona has been instrumental, in no pun intended, in helping us get this all going. They serviced our telescope and got it running upon delivery. It did not work, and after we took it back, it's been working great ever since. And the night wouldn't be complete without saying hello to Daisy and Zoe. Hi guys, how are you? Good to see you. So the sort of greenish glow you see on the screen here is due to the moon, right? And so that's why it looks like it's a little greenish blue glow, but I can continually color correct and you can watch it. There you go. I just color corrected it again. And there you go. Izabela says, I know someone in New Zealand that may be interested. Oh, do I have to go to New Zealand? Trust me, I would go in a heartbeat. So, Daryl, what do you think of a Southern Hemisphere telescope to complement the Northern Hemisphere one? So we'd have Sky Tour North and Sky Tour South.
I don't think we'd ever get any sleep.
That's what I would need to train people and bring them on board to run the telescope when we're sleeping. Yep.
I mean, it's not only the other side of the world, or it's not only in the southern hemisphere, it's also the other side of the world. So when it's night here, it'd be day there, and vice versa.
I know. So it'd be great to be able to open the telescope at 2 in the afternoon here.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at this image here, you see that we have a very beautiful sight. We have a very dark sky, and we actually have a very dependable sky. It's 300 cleared nights a year there, And so we have the northern hemisphere all sewn up. Now we need the southern hemisphere. And Marianne Robb is our project manager for SkyTour Livestream. We're in the process of becoming a 501c3 with SkyTour Livestream. None of this is going to change. It's all going to be free, same way as before. But I think that it would really be important, very important, to include her in the loop as well. David Byrne, how are you? Vera says Mark Paulo Pacella is an amateur astronomer located in Brasilia, has a lot of telescopes. He does spectrography and looks for near-Earth asteroids. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. That's actually very cool. If I could get a telescope, I'd love to have it in Chile somewhere. At a good altitude,
Yeah.
I'm about to see about that. Yeah, the flame, Daisy, and Joey. Looks like a tree on fire. That's right. Well, that's one of your favorites. And let me do this for you guys. Go ahead, Daryl. I'm just going to zoom in.
If we could get a telescope in Chile, that would actually be earlier than we are here.
Yeah.
A few hours.
Yeah. All right, let me bring this up there. This is their favorite object, one of their favorites, so I'm going to give them a view of it. Okay,
I'd love to see the southern sky. Might have to go twice. Once to see it in southern winter and southern summer.
Yeah, that's right.
If nothing else, at least whenever the Milky Way is up. A lot of cool stuff down there.
Speaking of cool stuff, Daryl, look at this. This is a beautiful image of the Flame Nebula. Really, really spectacular. Lots of detail. That's 100%. So this is the native size of the frame of this camera. So you can see that we've got a lot of distance off and above and below left from the frame of this camera. This is how big it is naturally. So we actually shrink it down to fit on the screen when we come up here and we go up to our zoom panel and we say auto. That actually fits it to the screen. See that? So, in other words, we just saw this little bit right here, and all this was still out there. We could do the same thing with the Horsehead right here. We could zoom in on the Horsehead. Right? And to know how much we're zooming in, you just have to look up here. And it tells us right there. It's at 100% right now. Look at this fine filaments off the chin of the horse here.
Yeah.
Look at the star right there's a star right there in the main. And if you can see the star in the main like we can tonight so beautifully, that implies that it's an exceptional night. That star in the main is sort of a little bellwether to the quality of the night. You're familiar with that, right, Daryl?
What's that? That star?
Yeah, that little star. If you can see that star in the main, it's indicates you have a good night.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. The clarity is, it's a little tell that kind of gives you an idea. I am going to increase the black level just a little bit to darken this up and bring a little more darkness into the dark nebula.
Learn something every day.
There we go. Oh, look at that. Well, I mean, we have stacked 54 frames, folks. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to stop it right here. Okay, we're going to say pause. And then clear. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. Now we're going to save this. And you see the green bar across the top with our FITS file saving. And what are we saving? Well, we're saving this. We're saving the Horsehead Nebula and the Flame, which is the Mission Nebula and Dark Nebula. And then I'm going to save the image exactly as seen. All right, right there. And now you'll see at the top, you'll see a ping file has been saved. And that's good. All right. So now let's... Oh, that's nice. So this image will be waiting for you up on the SkyTour server, okay? And Izabela dutifully has put the link to it. Actually, she put the link to the witch's head.
Did you name this?
I have not, and I'm going to, and I'm going to save it again so it doesn't... So thank you for telling me that. It's a new thing I got to do, you know, so I have to make sure that I do that. Actually, you know what? No, I'll tell you why. I actually put it in the drop-down list already. We should see... Well, it should be in here. I added it to the list. See, it says flame, but you see it?
Nebula and flame up the top, or is that what you just typed?
That's what I typed.
Oh.
Well, maybe I don't have it. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll leave it like this. All right. There we go. Now I'll just save it again, and it'll be in its right directory. Thank you for reminding me of that, Daryl. I'll get it through my head. So I can just delete the things that don't have a name on them. This will be a duplicated directory. It's just I just don't want to clear it. It looks just too beautiful.
You'll get it. It'll be old hat.
I know.
Only took me 3 tries to learn not to put reds in with whites in the laundry.
Wait. Well, why can't you do that?
Oh, you can. You just, you shouldn't, but you can.
Yeah, I like look.
Pink socks and underwear.
Pink, I had pink Fruit of the Loom underwear for a year because I did it, and my punishment was I had to wear it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. You're getting that 3D effect there tonight. Once it clears up, it looks really pretty.
Yeah. You know, we talked about Gustave Doré the other night, and
oh yes.
After the stream, I went and looked at his the gallery for his wiki page, and
okay.
There are several illustrations in that gallery that show what I was getting at with that sort of 3D depth in the clouds thing there. Bonnie, see. I had a pink shirt back in the days of Miami Vice, and yeah, I looked good in that thing. I was young and skinny and tanned and handsome. It was a long time ago.
Miami Vice.
Oh, you know, that's when pink was popular for men.
Ooh, wait, it's not?
Maybe that's why I put the red shirt in with the white socks.
Yeah, you made your own pink shirt. All right, so what I did was I added a little bit more darkness. Just, you know, it's already been saved, so this is just doing it now. This is all stuff that can be done later. But I'll save this as just an image exactly as seen, just so I have a second one out there that looks like that. So I always do that. Save exactly as seen. Okay. Well, that's all saved under that name. So now we'll clear it. Goodbye, Horsehead, for now. And we're going to come over here, go back down to 1 second. A lot of this stuff will just be so fast once I don't have the delays out to the system anymore. That's the big problem. I don't want to have delays. All right. Now let's see what we're going to do. First of all, I got to bring you back. So you get off and go show me my telescope right there. Okay, good. And away you go. Come here. Now, let's do this. If you notice, we've got a boost in our internet speed right now, so I'm taking advantage of it, man. Okay, let's go down here and go to auto, shrink this down, get that shrink down, and we have the whole scene. All right, so let's go back now to our telescope control, and let's go see what we want to see now. Hey, do you want to, might not be late enough yet. We might, but I don't want to do it now. It's not going to be good enough. I was thinking M81 and M82.
Up to you.
Yeah, I won't do that now. But let's go down here to M41.
Sure.
It is just below Sirius here somewhere.
It's not. Click on the little beehive. Is that M41?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's odd. Okay. I mean, that's where it is. So, alright, so we're heading to a cute little cluster. And it's going to put Sirius probably in the field of view, as you can tell. That's a very bright star.
That's the brightest star.
Yeah. Weird guy, how you doing? Okay, so it's centering up Sirius. And from there, it's going to leapfrog to a beautiful little cluster called M41. There it is. Look at that. These are, I call these glittering jewel boxes. And if you listen to our radio show, I will refer to them often as glittering jewel boxes in the night sky, because that's what they are. They're like these beautiful jewel boxes, but they're deadly jewel boxes. We don't want to be near them because they give off a lot of ultraviolet radiation that could really be damaging to us.
You're no fun.
You're no fun. Marianne Robb, Izabela says she knows somebody down in New Zealand. I would, unfortunately, prefer somebody in Australia. I'll tell you why, for putting a telescope, because in Australia we'll get clearer skies. So that's kind of important.
That's what I said.
Well, we're getting there. What, you said that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I just said it in chat.
Oh, I didn't see that. Well, I mean, all this stuff depends on a lot of things too. You know, we have to get better funding. You know, the idea is I want to make this like the best astronomy live deep sky telescope system on Earth. You know, I searched for other people doing this, and guess what? You don't find people doing what we do. Getting finished images like we saw with the Horsehead. Nobody's doing this. You know, we're doing it. We're doing it. And you got an astronomer to teach you the ropes. Come on. What the hell? You know? Daryl gives you all this beautiful astronomy information. I give you astronomy information. This is just I don't know. I'm seeing the uniqueness of it, is what I'm saying. And it really is unique. And I'm gonna just. I'm never gonna let this thing go into like the commercial realm. It's always gonna stay something that everybody can just come check out and hang with us and have great camaraderie. You know, we're gonna have subscriptions for people that are very serious, that want to do things a certain way at a certain night. We'll have that, but we don't have that now. And for that, you know, you didn't miss the stream last night because I didn't do a stream last night. I did a private thing for me. Well, that could have been something that's a subscription one, say. If somebody wants to look at a certain thing, or just say, I want to control the telescope for a night. And, work out a price. You come in and we guide the telescope for you and you do what you want. At a certain point in the future, if we can make it so that it's impossible to destroy it, which is not that hard, we'll actually turn you over and turn you loose in the telescope and let you go to where you want. But you got to have an idea where to look in the sky. Some people just like to move around in the Milky Way and just look at the different sights in the Milky Way. It's just stunning. All right, let's do M41 here. I remember looking at this in my telescope, Daryl. It was just really pretty. We'll do 25 seconds on this.
Well, that's one. I don't know. Could you darken the sky any on it?
Yeah. And this is the hybrid mode. I mean, if I want to darken the sky, I just do this.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
This is the hybrid mode, so we gotta live stack this now. And so, 25 seconds will come and go fast.
All right.
This is our image processing section, telescope section. This over here is the camera control section here. Yep, definitely the moon is up. You can see.
Yeah.
Right. So what we'll do is we can do color correct for the moon. Ready? Bam. Little image processing. All right, and then move our darks in. There we go. Getting better, getting better. Getting better. Okay. Now, when the moon is up, one of the things you see... no, Fantasy asks, isn't the M41 the Beehive? No, M44 is Praesepe, the Beehive. And that's actually in Cancer. That's coming. That's not here yet.
Yeah. That's one, though, that kind of begging the question. You show them a little beehive, you should show them the big beehive sometime, too.
Yeah, the big beehive, it fills this up. It's a big, extensive cluster.
Yeah.
It's probably closer to us.
The ancient's name was Praesepe, as you mentioned, and if I remember correctly, Praesepe means manger.
Okay.
I'd have to look that up.
Hang on one second. I just have to go see if I've got anything in my refrigerator here to drink. All right? So,
sure.
Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I had to get something to drink. Getting a cough here. Yes, Fantasy. This is M41. It's in Canis Major, just below Sirius.
And the answer is no. All right, let's fix this because that center brightening is due to the sensor having moonlight leaked in.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful cluster, isn't it?
It is. Praesepe is Latin for manger. Mm-hmm. This is another object that the ancients knew by naked eye. Like the ancient Greeks and such, they knew this thousands of years ago. In a good dark sky, it's visible to the naked eye.
And it has a beautiful red star in the middle of it. Which I guess, I'm imagining, is a foreground star. Because the cluster is a bunch of younger stars. There's another orange star here. But I have to see. I mean, some of these clusters do get older. But they tend to evolve at the same time. So if stars happen to stay in a cluster orbiting each other, then they evolve together, like in a globular cluster. So they evolve together and are pretty much the same age. So that's why when we say a globular cluster is a certain age, it means that each of the stars in the globular cluster is also approximately that same age. They're not going to vary by much because they were all formed right around the same time. And in clusters like this, they're not globular clusters, but the stars were all formed at the same time from the same nebula of dust and gas that happens to be as whatever particular composition of chemistry based on where it is in the galaxy at the time it forms. Our sun formed in one of those. And we've been on the hunt for our siblings, stars that are identical to the sun in composition. And we found one star so far that's our stellar sibling. It was with us when we formed 4.5 billion years ago. And it's since migrated away. It's actually down in the southern hemisphere. We can't see it from here. But it is definitely a stellar sibling. Its composition is not just nearly the same, it's exactly the same as our sun's. Because these stars, all of us, formed in the same nebula. Let me take back the brightness here a little.
One of the nearest open clusters to Earth contains a larger population of stars than other nearby bright open clusters.
Measure 41 or Praesepe?
Praesepe.
Yeah, because it's huge, so it's close to us.
Interesting. Age and proper motion coincide with those of the Hyades, suggesting they share similar origins. But hey, we're talking M41, not 44.
Yeah.
Get back on track here.
You're not off track. Those are all valuable things. This is really pretty.
It is.
Yeah. This is 14. We're going to do 15, and then we'll pause it. And we'll save it just like we see it here after the 15th comes in. See, it says 14 right up there. It's about to change to 15. There it goes. So we have now 15 stacked images. This will make a very, very pretty image. So we'll say save. So there's the stack is saved up there. That's the sandwich of images.
Did you name it?
That are all saved. I did not. Once again. Here we go again. Okay, M41 OC, open cluster. Alright, and now I'll save it. It says, you change the name tag unnamed to M41 OC. Well, lifetime, do you want to use this new name for the current stack and rename it once removed? Yes. I do. And now we will go down here and I'll save it again just to see if it actually saved it twice in the... This will give me some clues as to what's going on. Okay. And now we'll save it exactly as seen. It's a beautiful cluster. Alright. So now what we'll do is, now that we have it here, let's get rid of it. We've saved it. We'll clear it when we come in after. And then go down to 1 second. 1 second is our operating exposure for doing all the finding of objects. Then this here is a little histogram, meaning data curve. The yellow line intercepts the data. This is the stellar data from the light coming in. If I was to grab that yellow curve and slide it to the left, it would intercept more of that curve and thus get brighter in the view like you see here. All right, and so I call this our little finder. Basically, it's sort of like a little finder for us. All right, and that said, we can now go and check out something else. I bet you. Should we try Scull and Crossbones again? with the moon? Yeah?
Try.
Where's your enthusiasm, man?
Sure, give it a go.
I get you. Alright, so we're gonna try this again now here. Hey, one man, what's going on? Okay, this is gonna be kind of low, but you know what? There's a reason why I don't often go looking for things that are really, really low in the skies, because you have light down near the horizon of, and that's not just I'm not talking about light from cities. I'm talking about sky glow that's all throughout the sky, but it's worse when you're looking through more atmosphere along the horizon. So your views typically are not as good when you're looking down there, but we'll see. All right, I'm at 50% magnification here. I'm going to go down to auto, and this will end up being centered here. Okay. I said auto. There we go. There's Skull and Crossbones. That little guy right there. Alright. So we're going to bring it up. Get him up and move him out. Alright, there we go. And then we're going to move our telescope to the east a little bit. Center this up. And that's pretty good. This is a neat little nebula, and you're going to see a lot of really cool stuff popping out in this region here when we do this little exposure. Looks like our focus is good. It's been handling the night pretty well. Yep. Yep, looks good. Just been checking it out. Alright. Alright, back to our auto mode. Here we go. So, we'll just do a quick 30-second shot of this guy. Now, the moon is up, so don't expect miracles when the moon is up. But this telescope has proven to show us miracles in the past, so we'll see what it looks like. As the moon rises higher, viewing for nebulae gets worse and worse. But as you see, we could do clusters just fine. Okay. Now we're going to clear this one. Alright. And this guy, I think I have Skull and Crossbones. Do I have Skull and Crossbones in here? I don't. Alright, so I'll add it in. Alright, so this is Skull and Crossbones. Skull and Crossbones, Peter. Ah, it's great, Lois. So there's a Skull and Crossbones nebula, and we're going to just... This is the peak of our data right here, you see, and this is the black level, this is the bright white level. So we're going to slide the black level over because there's no data down here. As you can see, when we start coming up this curve, we'll start intercepting data. We want to be careful about how much of this we get rid of. Alright, but usually I bring us up right to about there, and we'll get rid of some of that greenish blue tint by doing a color correction right now. There we go. And there we are. And now you see that this is the Skull and Crossbones nebula so far. That's pretty. And over time it'll support zooming in quite a bit. Let's go to 50% now and see what it looks like. Kind of reminds one of the Lagoon Nebula. Not as bright, probably farther away, you know, that kind of thing.
I don't see a Skull and Crossbones. It's an interesting nebula.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's no Skull and Crossbones.
brings it up.
Hold on. Yeah. That's nice.
Are we still in Canis Major?
I'll check. I don't know. I have to look at the boundary layer. See what the boundary shows. We'll do that right now. Scull and Crossbones in the Messier Nebula, otherwise known as a star-forming region. Okay. I think we're just in Puppis now.
Okay.
This is also NGC 2467.
Yeah, okay. There's Aludra over to the right, and Wezin and Adhara. Aludra is the tail of Canis Major.
Yeah.
Wezin is the top of his
there.
back leg. Yes.
Yep. So we're now in Puppis, which is just to the east. East is this way to the left, and west is that way. If you're looking at the sky, the sun sets to the right, things rise from the left. So that's how we view this. Alright, so let's zoom in on this. This is pretty good. We're at about 29 degrees above the horizon right now, viewing this nebula. So that's pretty good. It says there's a planetary nebula right nearby, too. It should be in this view. Let's go back and look. Oh, it's not quite in this view. It's just outside the view. NGC 2453 is down just outside. Well, actually, they might be in the view because I'm not looking at the whole thing right here. No, it's not going to be in the view. Alright, look at that dark lane. See them, Daryl?
I'm sorry, say again?
See these dark lanes? See the dark lanes here?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Look at that. Talk about stars, huh, guys? Lots of stars. Put a name for a minute.
You're probably looking through or near the winter Milky Way now, I'd have to guess.
I would think we are looking through the Milky Way. That's right. Wayne Pinkham is here. Hey there, Wayne. How you doing? Have any bears in the backyard lately? I doubt it, right? With the hibernating bears. You got some freedom from the bears for a while. Wayne is famous for showing videos of bears in his backyard all the time. That's pretty cool. One man says Southern Cross. Yeah, we're not. We can't see that from where we are. Thank you, Vera. Yes, please say, hit a like, huh? Do that. That helps us. Anytime you help us out like that by giving us likes, or by tweeting our stream or adding it to a Facebook post, that helps us. It helps us tremendously. And we need you guys. We need you guys to help us become a fixture in the deep sky astronomy world. No one's doing this. I feel like a telethon. Where else can you go for this kind of quality programming? That's sort of kind of true. There's sites where people image one thing for like 2 hours. And it's like, oh, I know that's all great, and I know they're doing a great job. But you want to be able to image things and have a whole bunch of them for people to have by the time they leave. It's like when you go out for Halloween and you hold out your bag and the tiny little mini Snickers bar that's way smaller than a Snickers bar should ever be is dropped in your bag. You look down You can hear it echo. Because there's only one little thing. But then you go to some houses, and what they do, they have a handful of candy. There you go. Whoa, thank you. My bag just got 2 pounds heavier. That's what this is. This is Halloween, where we're giving out handfuls of candy. That's what I view this as. Now, each image is in and of itself. You've been here with us. You saw it taken. You get copies of it instantly. Well, not so instantly, when the internet cooperates. They all get up there eventually. So I think that's something that is a valuable commodity. Let's zoom in. Let's go to 100%. So I think with 16 stack, we should be able to support that. Oh, it looks soft focus. Oh, boy.
A little bit.
Okay. Well, you know what that means. No one likes when I do this. I am going to clear this, and we're going to start again. Why? Because we like you. I want you to have something perfect. That's why. Because I'm really fussy. So let's do this. Okay, that's... Alright. Let's get rid of the stack entirely for now. Just go to the 1. There we go. Okay. Alright. And...
Did it cool off?
Reeks. Huh? Yeah, but the temperature is being regulated by... The focus is being regulated by temperature, but... see, it's doing some weird things. It's going and fluctuating, so that causes a little misfocus on occasion. So what I'm going to do is help it get back to where it ought to be. I think it needs to drop a little. Let's go see. I'm refocusing, guys. That's what I'm doing right now. Alright, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? That looks a little better. Let's go back up to 6. Okay, I think that's good. So now we can turn back on our focusing system here and let it take care of the focus from this point forward. Alright, come back out, go to auto. Alright, now this is going to be a lot better. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Never mind that guy behind the curtain. Alright, and we're going to make this 25, did I say 25 or is it 30? 30-second shot. Hey, eventually I might just do like a 400-second shot or a 5-minute shot. Then what are you going to do? You going to sit through that? I wouldn't. That's the benefit of this thing. We don't have to do that. Okay, so we're going to clear this guy.
Sure turned red.
Yeah, that's a color correction issue that will happen. Because it didn't know what to do when I got rid of the data.
Oh.
Okay, that's a problem because did I forget this? No. Alright, so let's go back to this and... Oh, I see what happened.
You broke it.
We have to do No, I didn't break it. Not at all. Okay, color correction is probably still good. It's pretty good, yeah. There we go. Alright, we're back. And we have a better focus shot now. So what you can do is we can actually take this and dim it up over the top here. Take the black level And as long as we don't go past that peak, we'll be pretty good. Alright, what do we got here? Let's watch this one develop, shall we? Come here, you get that screen over here. Alright, there we go. So this is the Skull and Crossbones Nebula. Alright. And as
Can you
Daryl
go
alluded...
to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, as you alluded to before, we are looking into the Winter Milky Way, which is a different arm of our galaxy. But we're looking into this arm, which is away from, the Sagittarius arm is that way, and we're looking this way now. But there's a galactic arm that goes all the way across the sky that we're looking at from inside. We're inside of it, looking around. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Could we go to Stellarium for just a moment?
Yes. By the way, hello, Judy McClelland.
I just wanted to see what... oh, its other name, Chained Brooch Nebula. I'm not sure what that's supposed to look like either, but pretty cool looking nebula. Okay, thank you.
Sure. NGC 2467 for, I think this is pretty cool right here. This line of stars right here. This seems like a line of denser stars. You see that?
Yeah, I'm starting to see the dark bands all over it, like I do sometimes.
Yeah, here. There. So there's like these little areas here. I don't have any doubt that it could very well be that we're looking at some type of dark nebula that's coursing through this whole region. I don't want to do too much here. I don't want to, because I'll lose detail, but I would like to get rid of sub. Here we go. I'm going to do this. I'll bring this out just a little bit more. We don't want to go past the peak because that's the highest level of data. You notice the peak is different colors. It's red, green, it's blue. All right. Then this is solid data right here. But as it drops off, you notice how it's all more noisy? That's noisier data. And that evens out over time. Yeah. And we're actually catching the data that's under this curve. So if we're up there, okay, if I brought this over, okay, just give you an idea how this works. Let's suppose I brought this black level way out here. Okay, see there's a lot of white out here. But this data has not actually gone up into that top of the curve yet. If I was to bring this over here, it goes farther and farther and farther up till there's nothing there to see. And the only way to bring it back is to slide this black level, and which takes that data with it. And then we get a narrow shot, a narrow pass through that. Okay, and look what it does. It's like you're seeing, this sort of gives you an idea, for instance, of how much is there. Okay, how much stuff is there, how much nebula is there. But it's not the right processing for the shot. To actually see it, we have to kind of spread those lines apart to actually allow there to be variation in the pixels between here and there, each end. So that's pretty cool. And right now we can still do a little bit of darkening. All right. So again, come up to the peak, and that helps bring out a lot of the data. Right there. So there we go. So there's a little bit of image processing to give you an idea of what we do. Fantasy says, so that's how NASA gets those crazy images. Well, the crazy images are because they're using a different color palette which we can actually simulate but not do directly. The only reason that people take pictures in what's called the Hubble Palette is because they want to get pictures that look like NASA pictures. It doesn't look particularly good to me, you know. But it's done for research reasons too. I mean, hydrogen alpha is in red, but sometimes making it a different color shows it better.
Hydrogen's supposed to be pink, red, damn it.
That's
Looks
right.
like one man's heard me say that before.
Yeah, and Fantasy says, yeah, it looks super fake. Yeah, it's true. Yep. Look at this this is neat.
Yeah.
Look at that. That cool little thing. For those of you that wonder why I'm looking this way when it's right there, I have two screens. This is the observatory, direct feed. This is the broadcast feed. So that's a smaller screen for me. This is a much larger screen. You're seeing all this, okay? And I'm seeing additional stuff. I'm seeing the chat. I'm seeing channel details. I'm seeing volume levels. And then this frame here with this in it for me is a much smaller view on my screen. But on my left-hand monitor, I see it like you're seeing it in the stream. And so why wouldn't I look here? It's pretty cool. Okay, let's try and do a little bit more darkening here. Darken up a little bit. Come on. You have no idea. Starlink arrives Sunday out in the desert. And they've got people there to put it in. Yes. Alright, now you can see a little bit more now how there is so much more detail in this nebula than we saw before. When we first started this, we didn't see this level of detail in here. Okay. But we see that now. See here along this side here, down here. Let me just pull that right there. Okay, so now you can actually see there's a lot of detail down here. A lot of detail here and there, all around. That's really pretty. And we have stacked 18 images right now.
Oh, the dark lanes really jump out at me now.
Yeah. When you see some here, you see
that
this
one.
Dark area here.
Yeah, there's others
These.
wandering all over the screen.
Yeah. Some of those might be real, some of those might be just star patterns.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going 20 images and then we're stopping.
Pareidolia. Mind trying to make sense of what
order.
it's saying.
Yeah, make order out of chaos.
Yes, well said.
Okay, so we're going to pause this now. And we'll, let's see, did I do this right? Yeah, Scull and Crossbones. Yeah, I got it named right. I remembered. We'll save that. And then we're going to save exactly as seen. All right.
I think somebody needs to go to bed.
Who? You?
No, in chat. Me
Oh.
too, probably, but somebody in chat.
Yeah. Yeah. One man, what are you doing? You don't usually say things. I didn't see anything he said that was bad. Did he say something bad?
Not that I saw. He was just kind of going on a lot. Sounded drunk,
Oh.
intoxicated.
Yeah, sometimes we attract people that want to just party. Oh, thanks, Izabela. I like the music. He didn't sound sober. Yeah. Hey, one man, you're all right. You know, hang out with us all you want, but try and stay sober when you're with us. That's all. If you've been drinking. Okay. So, I believe I saved this, correct? Yes, I did. Okay, so I will clear it now and leave this live stack here. Come back to our 1 second approach and do our hybrid view, which I like to call it, which is coming up. Bam. There's that 1 second shot. Okay. So now let's go back and first of all, let's try something. Let's go see where the moon is. All right. Hey, Donald Kunzer, how are you? Donald says, many times my friend Jim Beam would try to take over the keyboard. Gotta be on the ball. That's funny. That's cute. What's that planetary?
Why I gave up tequila.
The moon is 15 degrees above the horizon. All right. Well, we'll keep going for a little bit. See what we can get. This is always a fun place to hang. Let's see. Now we are up here at Scull and Crossbones. Should we try a couple other clusters?
Sure.
How about the butterfly cluster? We haven't seen that in a while. It's got less than 50 stars in it, though.
I thought the butterfly was in Telescorpius.
That's the butterfly nebula? This is the butterfly cluster.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking M6 or M7.
Well, this is M93. Goes to Jupiter Nebula sounds terrific, she says. Izabela says. Yeah, Goes to Jupiter is sort of not what you think. It is neat, but maybe what I should do is maybe we can go check out the owl. Because I did the owl with the other night with that Surfboard Galaxy. We can do that now.
Yeah. Well, if you head up
Let's try
that way, stop in Cancer and look at M44.
Yeah, if we can.
Should
If
be
we
on the
can
way
get
up.
there.
There's the Beehive.
Yeah, we're gonna go there. All right, let's go do the actual Beehive Cluster first. This is Praesepe. You saw the little beehive earlier, and now we're gonna look at the Beehive, which is the namesake. And away we go. Let's go drop down, get out of my way, and go back to my telescope. There we are. It's right there.
Manger. I had looked that up. Of course,
Well, you said it before.
M44. Oh yeah, I know, but I couldn't remember what a manger is exactly.
Oh, okay.
Remember from the Christmas Carol, but a long open box or trough for horses or cattle to eat from.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Persepi. Let's go see. One man again. Oh man. One man, you gots to calm it down, brother. Alright. Alright, here we go. Alright, so what we need to do now is head west a little bit and pull the beehive in.
It's about 1.5 degrees across, so it should fit across your field top to bottom pretty good.
Yeah, this is it. I'm bringing it in now. See it? Here it comes.
Yeah.
There it is. You can't miss that sucker. Look at that go. And the satellite to join us right there. Got a satellite going through the beehive right now. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bring it over a little more. Drop it down a little. Alright, and now let's go north a bit. There we go. Beehive should be nicely centered. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, this one, beehive on a dark night, sort of like what I've said about the Pleiades in the past. If you avert your vision, it will look almost like a nebula.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a lot of stars in that.
Yeah.
I think I saw earlier
I'm
they said
waiting.
it's most populous
Good.
open cluster.
Alright. Well, I'm waiting for that satellite to leave.
Yeah.
And now we'll find out for ourselves. As we live stack the Beehive Cluster, otherwise known as Persepi.
Thank you, Izabela.
Thank you. I didn't catch that until I looked at the chat. Fantasy says, that's your internet satellite. Actually, our internet satellite is a geostationary bird. So that's why it takes so long. And that's why Starlink is so much better, because they're a bunch of interlocking, crossing paths. So we pick up different satellites at all times. This is beautiful. Let me take us in here and just do a... Oh, another satellite that we missed.
That last one was moving pretty quick.
Yeah.
Looks like this one may be too.
Yeah.
Maybe they are Starlinks.
Good question. Let's drop this down. Alright. That's pretty good. That's really pretty. That's I don't think that's Starlink. Because Starlink in 25 seconds, Starlink would be eats up a lot more in the sky than in 25 seconds than this does. I think it's a little bit more than that for Starlink. Genghis. I yawn in your general direction. That is kind of cute. What's all the buzz about the Beehive Cluster? Oh, it's a honey of a cluster. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it. Oh, okay. Thought it was pretty good. Let's get rid of the slight purple glow that you probably can't see. Right there. A little better. Pull you for a minute. Get out of there. So, now the nice thing is, because this is a stack we're building, that satellite trail, you notice I didn't stop the exposure because that satellite trail will be gone. Because what's behind that satellite trail is blackness. And that's what's getting added to the image every time it stacks, So that'll get progressively dimmer as we move forward. DK, what's going on? DK 0018. What's up? Wait, Fantasy, you're on the go here tonight. Notice how that satellite trail is getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. I'm gonna do one thing here. I'm gonna do a manual correction. There we go. Manual correction to remove some of the red that was in there. Yeah, Fantasy, you're right. Bartender, cut that man off. He's done. That's funny, D. D Smith, I just saw you here. Hey, how you doing? Legless Lex, how you doing, man? Good to see you. It's very nice that you guys show up and come on out and hang out with us. Look, I don't mind people coming out here having a good time. And for the most part, no one ever says anything that's anything more than just, you know, innocent fun that sometimes goes over the edge a little. Trust me, you know, you're talking to someone that made hydrogen balloons in his backyard and blew them up with flaming bows and arrows, okay? Brought the police every time, you know. I mean, I'm not that, and I don't do that anymore, but let me tell you, that wasn't the best thing to do, so my judgment's been bad too. So I appreciate when I see someone that exhibits poor judgment. If it's innocent, you know, mine was innocent. I learned how to make hydrogen. Oh, they really go off nice, though. You hit them with a bow and arrow. Boom! And the shockwave hits you in the chest and knocks you right down. Oh, yeah, really good.
Try it with acetylene.
Acetylene is also good, but you know what acetylene does? Acetylene leaves a black smoke behind.
Yep.
And and I didn't want to have a black smoke going up into the air because, see, that's a clue. Follow the black smoke down to the ground. Where's that coming from? Of course, to be honest with you, I couldn't make acetylene. I tried with my chemistry set and got close. Because back I had a chemistry set. They used to have everything in it. I made gunpowder with this chemistry set. I literally made gunpowder to make firecrackers with this chemistry set that my parents bought me. Back when the chemistry set was metal and had 3 doors. They closed and open up, and I would set that up, and it's like, oh, my wall of chemistry right here. And I would do all these experiments, and I used to make stink bombs, and smell up the house, not intentionally, but sulfur does that. And when sulfur burns, when it burns now, not when it melts. When it melts, it turns blood red from yellow. But when it burns, you know what color it is? Who knows in chat? Who knows? Put it in there. Nobody say it. Okay, David Schmidt, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, exactly. Up with the test tube, yep. Yeah, sulfur does have a smell of rotten eggs, but what color does it burn? It's actually tied to a specific volcanic phenomenon. What color does it burn? Okay, I'll wait. Don't worry. We have all night. Okay, we've done 18 of these. We'll do 20 of the Beehive. Look at it. It's pretty nice, Daryl.
Oh. So
I gotta say, how many?
1,000 stars in the cluster.
I believe it.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
Probably, yeah, it goes beyond the extent of the screen here too, so by a little bit.
As far as the settling goes, it's not hard to make if you can get your hands on carbide crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Like Union
Which
Carbide.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Oh.
No.
So Union
For
Carbide
carbide lamps.
Start was carbide lamps like miners' lamps.
Yep. Okay, I'm saving this. Oh, I did it wrong again. Daryl, you
Sorry,
didn't remind me. No, it's not your fault.
I was testing you. I noticed before you started.
I bet you did. But I am going to do it now. Beehive. No, not that. No. We're going to do this over. Alright, Beehive Cluster. Come on. Alright. And now we'll save it again. Yes. PG, Envira, you're right. It's blue. You looked it up, didn't you, on Google? It actually leads to a phenomenon called blue lava in volcanoes. And what happens is sometimes if sulfur burns, when it actually burns now, it's combusting, it leaves a blue flame, and so it gives rise to the phenomena that I just mentioned called blue lava. There's some Indonesian volcanoes that show blue lava, and I think in Iceland, I saw blue lava actually on one of those volcanoes. I think it was either Fagradalsfjall or Geldinga de Leer, where I actually saw blue lava there. I wasn't there. I was watching the feeds, and I saw a blue round dot that was making its way down the side of the volcano. It looked like somebody with a flashlight, and that's kind of a big clue that it's something isolated and localized up there. And it couldn't have been someone with a flashlight walking down the walls of the volcano, because they were over 1,500 degrees, because they were a very hot rock, because magma was right inside, boiling to the surface. So, not that. Yeah, blue. Good job. Oh, really? Did Woody know that? Woody is PG's husband. All right. I met PG and Woody in Pine Bush. And Petita, that's her name, actually bought my book and has not started reading it yet. I bet I'm right. Come on, own up to it. You have to own up to this. This is on you. Tell me. All right, so there we go. That one's done. And we're going to take this stack and wipe it out. This will be up on the server shortly. That's the real Beehive. We saw the small Beehive. Now we saw the real Beehive. And they're both up there. Right now, we're going to do 1 second again and make it our hypered view, so we'll see the Beehive. You did the first page. Okay. The first page says the populated universe. Doesn't count. All right. Don't worry, I'm just having fun with you, Petita. Okay, so that said, let's go back. Let me first get our display to come back on. Poke, poke, there we go. And then I come down here and go up here. And we're on our way to something else as we're moving up. And that is, we're on our way to the Owl Nebula. And that's where we're going to go, Owl. The owl is pretty cool. It looks really, really neat. And the telescope shows it well. There we go. And it should be well within visibility. And when we get there, we'll see the Surfboard Galaxy as well, which is right there, I believe. If I click on that, that should say Surfboard Galaxy. And it is. That's M108. Alright. So let's go here. You'll watch the telescope over my head. It's going to make some gyrations now as it goes to a star to look for. And it's going to be pointing out the back of the building. You'll watch it pointing over the back of the building there. That's deep into the northeast. And right here you can see the high precision star we're slewing to. And what star is that over there? It won't be Capella. That's up there. This is Merak. Okay. One of the things I noticed about this particular database is that some of the coordinates are wrong. When I tell it to go to a particular place, it's off. It's not me. It's the database that comes with it. Bad news. However, the one thing that's nice is that, as always, we get the objects we want to see. That's really the good part. That's the Owl Nebula. That's a planetary nebula. Did you see the picture of the owl I took, Daryl?
Yes, I did. You shared it with me.
Okay, so you did. Okay, I did. Okay.
The owl and the surfboard.
Yeah. So this is neat because... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the owl is in our galaxy, and we're looking millions of light years further away to see this galaxy through all these foreground stars, which includes this star that died, which made the owl. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
All right. Maybe it'll come to you. We're going to do 35 seconds here, and we'll stack it. Okay, and we're going to clear this. And I'm going to write in the name. All right. I'll write the name in up here now. Okay, that's good, because that we have plenty of data there in 35 seconds. Now what we have to do is just process the curves a little to bring that down, and change the color to bring the color more correct. And then we can mess with our black level a little bit, slide everything over. And then we're going to take this guy, slide him way down. And now, there's the owl. This little artifact you see in the center, this is something that we correct for. All right, this is called a flat field correction that's required, because the sensors the central part of the sensor is going to receive the most photons. And when you have a bright moon, it's a lot more obvious than when it's dark sky, fully dark. Okay, so that's what we see. Hey there, Farva. Nice to see you. So that bright spot in the middle, you have to balance out. So what we do is we take an image that's look just like this, but it's the imagine without the stars, and the objects, and we make it gray and we tone it down a little bit, and so it's just sort of a grayish sort of haze with a brighter haze in the middle, and then we actually subtract that from this image. We mess with it, and that removes it and evens it off the whole image all the way across. Okay. So this is the owl, and there's the surfboard. So let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to, say, 50%. Might not be quite ready for that. Well, that works fine. There's the owl. Look at that. And the owl, if you can imagine what a barn owl looks like, well, doesn't that look like it? I mean, it looks sort of like a barn owl.
Planetary nebula, of course. It's got that green color to it.
Yep. That's our doubly ionized oxygen.
How would you postulate the shape of the owl?
Well, let's zoom in first.
How planetaries are shaped.
Yeah. When we talk about planetaries, the way they're shaped, one of the things that we think about is if a star is rotating, then it might send off material more in one direction than another. In this particular case, it looks like the star was rotating in a way that was even. So what we're seeing are shells of material that have moved off from the owl, but there is this void in the middle, right? Which is like where the two eyes of the owl are, basically. Okay? There's this void in the middle, and that void could have been the result of some type of rotational mechanism the star had that, in a way, it ejected its outer envelope. But it only affected this part, like the later parts that were ejected, not the parts that were previously ejected. So it looks like there was a change in the behavior of the star as it was dying, and I don't know what that was. You notice the star in the middle is blue? That's because it's a white dwarf, and they're very, very hot. And the hotter stars, remember, look blue. This is an artifact. You were going to say something, Daryl?
I always wondered if you see where the bright lobes are coming together at the star to the upper left and lower right, in between what the two eyes, where the two eyes are.
So here?
Yeah. I mean, would you say those are coming together over the star's poles or over the equator? Is that where the material is coming out of?
I would think that the equator of the star is here, along this plane.
Okay. So
this is the material equatorially, and in the polar direction, not a lot was spewing out in that particular direction. This could be the result of a rotating star that's, in this particular view here, it's rotating like this, or like this, depending on how you're looking at it. Okay? And if it was doing that, then it might spew more material along the outside edges along the equator, which is here and here, than through the poles. And the other thing it could be is, it could be that the material as it was expelled was subject to the magnetic field of the star. And if the star had a particular magnetic field that was stronger, maybe it trapped particles and set up the shape of the ejected envelope over time. So that's a possibility too.
And
I'm seeing something really, really weird here.
Right as there. We've noted with other, that kind of dark line in there. As we've noted with other planetaries, you see the red is separated from the green, like in separate shells. Like, did they eject at different rates or times? I see that dark line there on the right side, Got like a crook in the bottom of it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up. One thing I will say is, it's possible that this what we think about when we look at these is that this is hydrogen emission, the H2, the hydrogen alpha, the stuff we talked about. Okay, well, that hydrogen emission may be mixed in with this oxygen emission, but maybe the oxygen emission overpowers it, and maybe there's more in here that we don't see in the visible light. Maybe if we looked at it with special filters just to look at the hydrogen alpha, only the hydrogen alpha, then maybe we'd see that it goes through all of this and not just a ring on the outside. I'm guessing that'd be the case. But you can see there's some separation in this shell here. Okay, and separation in this shell. I mean, this is pretty cool. We're at 150% the size of our sensor. We're actually up even higher, and it supports that. But you can see some of the noise, though. If I go to 100%, it'll be a little smaller. Okay, and you can see a little better how that all looks. Again, there's that white dwarf in the middle. Temperature very, very hot. 50,000 Kelvin. So if you notice this outer shell here, all right, you notice that this is an expanding shell. It's expanding outward over time. And the white dwarf is ionizing the gas in here, which makes you visible. But there's a point at which, beyond which, the white dwarf is not going to be able to ionize anymore, because the radiation, all right, it diminishes in strength by the square of the distance from the source. So as that happens, there'll be a certain point at which the radiation won't be powerful enough to ionize the atoms anymore. And this leads to a size on these planetary nebulae, which is approximately, because white dwarfs are about pretty much the same, approximately 1 to 2 light years. I know that's not a huge precision statement, but planetary nebulae can only be about that diameter. But because we don't know where in the process this is it still expanding? Has it already expanded to fill its ionization shell? Okay, if it has, then based on the size, if this was 2 light years across, we could say, okay, at 2 light years across, but a certain size in the sky, we can actually calculate right away how far away we think it is. All right? But if it's still expanding to fill that ionization shell, then all bets are off. We don't know. So planetary nebulae like these are notoriously hard to figure out the distance to, for in part that reason.
That dark line on the right is real. It's in large telescope images. It's a little more diffuse and kind of broken up, but it is real. And then the shell there on the upper left is real also, with that dark space there.
And there's probably a shell on this side too, it looks like.
Yes.
All right, well, we caught that dark line. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it is a little more diffuse here. As it's stacked, it actually cleared up a bit. This isn't bad. We're at 200%. We can still see some pretty good data. That's not bad for a telescope that has a field that's, this size here as we zoom out. Not bad at all.
Yeah. Izabela asked a minute ago about M108 there. The Surfboard is at a starburst galaxy. Looks almost like M82, doesn't it?
Sort of, but it looks like it has a lot of dark nebula in it. It looks like it I mean, I'd have to look up the studies of M108 to see.
Ready on it.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty though, see? And that's a galaxy that's not flat onto us. It's sort of like on an edge, sort of like this to us. All right, so we're seeing it kind of like from the edge. So it's sort of like a projected view of it that we see.
It
looks like a spiral galaxy to me.
It's a barred spiral.
Yeah, okay. I can
Yeah,
see
we're
kind of
seeing
elongated.
it. We're
so-
seeing it nearly edge on.
Yeah. It's at a very narrow angle. Yep. Oh, DK, thanks for coming out, man, and watching. Enjoyed having you.
Doesn't say anything about it being a starburst galaxy.
It looks like a regular spiral to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can see the bar there. That looks like a bar, like you said, a barred spiral. That would be the bar. The nucleus of a galaxy many times are round, guys, but that means that the stars and that are orbiting the galaxy and the nucleus of this galaxy are kind of spherical. Okay, then the stars are in the disk surrounding that and going around it. But then there's things like this galaxy where the nucleus isn't just a sphere. It's actually an elongated bar, as they call it. And then the spiral arms comes off of that. Our Milky Way is a barred spiral galaxy. At least the last study that was done of our Milky Way showed that we're not a spiral galaxy after all. It's a barred spiral. And I think there's still plenty of people that still think that's the case. But again, we're inside the forest trying to look through the trees. Right? We can't see our own galaxy. You know? Well, that's really pretty. Let's go back and see how the owl turned out after all.
I saw the owl once at stupid high magnification.
Really?
It was like 800x, and it was surprising how well it held up.
Wow. Well, this is pretty good at 175x here. Or well, 175, percent of the sensor. Very good detail there, Daryl. Look at that.
Yeah.
You see separation in these shells. This is not like I got it the other night when I looked at it.
Yeah.
This is new. Very nice. Okay, this is, of course, we have 23 stacked frames, so we'll go to 24. Not bad. And Owl Nebula and Surfboard are put up there. Yeah. You got it.
Very nice. Mark, excuse me a moment, please.
Sure. Okay, so this is where we are. And PN means planetary nebula. Thank you, Vera. Vera says beautiful. I'm glad you like it. Is it reddening because it's far away or because of the dark? Izabela says. You talking about the galaxy, Izabela? The galaxy could be reddened because of many star formation regions in it. I'm not sure of the distance to the surfboard. Let me go look. Let's see here. Surfboard galaxy is right here. And the distance to the surfboard galaxy is 45 million light years or so. Not particularly far to redden the galaxy. So I imagine that the colors are what they really are. And again, these colors are like they should be. All right, but we can just try just right now to do another color correction to see if it changes anything, but yeah, not really. Okay. All right, so we have 27 frames now, so we're going to pause it here. And we'll save this. and it's saving to Owl Nebula and Surfboard Galaxy. And then we will save exactly as seen. Alright. Gosh, it's such a nice night, isn't it? And the moon is up too, guys. The moon is out. Huh. A bright moon. And that's why this is brighter in the middle. But this is not bad for the bright moon. I so like the fact that we're almost can view the sky with impunity. Even with the moon there. What can I say? I'm very excited about this telescope. Okay. So let's get out of the stack. Actually, we'll clear it. Get out of the stack. And let's go back to our hybrid view here, and let's bring that up again. Now let's go back here, and this has been really stunning. While we're in this region, there's Dubé, and right near us is this little guy. Not that little guy. Wrong little guy. That's the one I want. Here we go. Okay, this right here is still the wrong one. Hang on, guys. This guy. There we are. Okay. This is Bode's Galaxy. This is definitely, we're going to look at a starburst galaxy now and a spiral galaxy all in the same frame. This is Messier 81 and Messier 82. We are literally pointing almost directly toward the north at the moment. No, not quite, but almost. We're heading toward the north right now. All right. So this is Dubé. This is one of the stars in Ursa Major that we're centering on right now. Again, the greenish tint is... You got it.
And when we saw Merak earlier, that's the bottom star at the front of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Dubé and Merak are called the pointer stars. They point at the North Star, Polaris.
That's it. Our favorite location. Without it, we wouldn't know where to point. Actually, the truth is, if you're going to put a telescope in the southern hemisphere, we have to very carefully examine our pole stars because there are none down there. The constellation there is called Octans, and there's no star down there that you can use as a pole star. So you have to actually align it differently than we do up here. Well, we don't use Polaris as the pole star. We have a process by which we can do that. And basically, we do. This is M81 right here. This is M82. This is a starburst galaxy. They are similar distances from us and close to each other in space, possibly having interacted in the past, which is what might have set off the starburst formation of stars in this galaxy. This star is exploding with star growth, okay, which is why it was called the exploding galaxy years ago. All right, so let's do a 25-second shot. That's right, 25 seconds.
Yeah, for your earlier comment, Sigma octans is generally considered to be the southern pole star, but it's not as close to the pole as Polaris is to the North Pole. If you ever watch I probably posted the video before. It's the ESO's VLT telescopes, the time exposures taken down there years ago. In several of the shots, you can see over the course of the time exposures, you see the large and small Magellanic clouds far down in the southern sky. And if you watch them closely in these exposures, you can see they kind of form an equilateral triangle with a star. And they sort of rotate around that star, and that star is Sigma Octans.
All right. Well, that's what you got to do. Now we're doing we're doing what's called a stretch right here because I want to show you. This is the exploding galaxy, the starburst galaxy. But there's something about this galaxy I want you to notice. Okay. We'll come to Messier 81 as well, and then there's this guy down here. But Messier 82 is interesting because if we close in on it right now, you'll notice that it has these rays of material coming out of the bottom and the top, the North Pole and the South Pole of this galaxy. This is a very strange outflow from this galaxy, and there's stars in there. There's a lot of hydrogen gas in there, and that is something that is really part of what's strange about this galaxy. Now, if we were to just process this a little bit more gently, then it would look kind of like this right here, right? And now you can see how absolutely red this whole quadrant of the galaxy is. That's because there's starburst formation, a lot of star formation going on in here. Imagine a galaxy where there's a whole third of the galaxy is a gigantic Orion Nebula, effectively. All right, that's what's going on there. Really strange, and we don't really know why. We suspect it's from interactions with this galaxy here. All right, M81. Let me change the colors here. Let me get the colors processed correctly, because we got to get rid of some of this red. Okay, there we go. A little better. Okay. So in M81, one thing you notice is that the nucleus of the galaxy is a yellow stars, but the disk of the galaxy out here, these are actually blue. Not quite as obvious here, but when we process it later, you might be able to see that a little better. That's these disks around these galaxies, these arms as knotty spirals full of knots of new star formation. These typically are young hot stars, which tend to be blue, right? And we don't have that satisfaction looking here at this galaxy. It looks like a really odd monster. It's a Frankenstein of galaxies. So we don't understand precisely why it looks the way it does. Possibly with interactions with M81. And I think you've heard that too, Daryl, correct?
I'm sorry, you caught me in the middle of something. Say that again.
M81 and M82 were rumored to have interacted with each other.
Oh, yes.
which have caused the starburst activity in M82. Interestingly, there's another galaxy called the Whirlpool Galaxy, which I don't think is quite ready for us right now. But the Whirlpool Galaxy is strange because it has another dwarf galaxy that it's interacting with, and if you look at it in 3D, the galaxy's disk is warped downward to this dwarf galaxy. They're gravitationally interacting.
On the Whirlpool.
Where are the antennae? Yeah, the Whirlpool. Yeah. Where are the antennae galaxies?
You would ask me that. I'd have to look it up.
Are we talking about galaxy season? We gotta wait till the spring.
Give me just a
Yeah,
second.
look it up. All right.
The antenna galaxies?
Yep. Okay, color correction is showing the disc a little more correct now. You see how it's more blue? That's pretty much what it looks like.
They're in Corvus, down below Virgo. So yes,
Okay,
galaxy
so
season.
Gotta wait.
You don't have to wait too
They're
long.
gonna be stunning.
Virgo's up already. It's low in the east right now
Yeah.
for us, but it's on its way up.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I looked up the other day Messier marathon for 2022, and I think, if I remember right, the primary date is April the 5th, and the secondary date is March the 5th or March the 9th. Something like that. I'd have to look it up again. So it's not that far away.
Well, you guys better be ready to stay awake because we're going to be doing a Messier marathon. We're going to look at every single Messier object and image it. I know. I laugh too because, I don't think I can handle it. I might be able to stay up. I used to stay up all night. To work on projects and stuff. I'll be doing that this month, actually, for an aerospace company, I think. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. This is 16 frames. Let's go to 100% of the frame again. And it's kind of neat when you have a telescope that actually overexposes a galaxy. This galaxy, we don't really even know the shape of this galaxy. It could be edge on, whatever it is.
Shaped like a cigar.
Well, yeah. Okay. And here's M81, and it has these beautiful spirals. Let me just come up a little more. Too much. Come down a little more. A little more. A little more. And there we go. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'm going to try and push this a little bit. It may mess with the color, but I want to try and pull those spirals out a little more here.
Excuse me.
Okay. If Daryl comes back and he's still alive, then we'll continue.
Carry on. I'm here. I'm just...
Oh, good. You all right? Okay, the color's not quite right, but then again, I'm just trying to show you the spiral arms. You see the extent of the spiral arms.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. You all right, Daryl?
I'm okay. I just...
okay.
Wrong hole.
I got you.
Izabela, Messier marathon, you do it in the springtime before the sun, while the sun still sets relatively early and rises relatively late. And you time it in the dark of the moon, and you start in the west as soon as the sky gets dark, and you work your way across the sky over the course of the night, and you try to stay up all night long until the first light of dawn, and you cannot see them anymore, and you try to knock out all 110 over the course of the night.
All right, so if you guys have to work, take the day off. Now, as I said, the color's not quite right. I know that, but I'm just trying to enhance these spiral arms for you.
The stars toward the middle should be yellowish, and the outer part should be bluish. of course.
Yeah. Let me see what the color correction does. See, the color correction goes that route, which I don't like. But I can just drop the red down. If you drop the red down, you get to a certain point. And then you gotta start dropping the green. Okay.
Imagine doing a marathon in the old days before go-to telescopes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That was work.
Yeah, then you're looking. That was a lot of work.
Yep.
Okay, this is sort of what I'm trying to show you. You see the color grading, the color differences? These are older stars in here. And again, this is not fake color. These are the actual colors that have been enhanced, so they're slightly greener than they ought to be. But the differences in color, what I want you to see, yellowish in the middle with older stars out to a certain distance, and it gives way to blue stars, which are in the star-forming regions in the spiral arms. We see that in the Andromeda Galaxy as well. We see that in our own galaxy. We see that in many spiral galaxies. We see that in Messier 33, the Triangulum Galaxy. But that's what happens. We see this star formation, these spiral arms. This fuzziness is all stars. And every one of the stars you see in the field here, they're all up here in the foreground. This galaxy's way out here, millions and millions of light years away. Okay? Those other stars are all in the foreground here. Those are all stars in our galaxy. And we're looking through that veil of stars to see these stars here in the distant galaxy. But you can see these spiral arms quite nicely.
Yes, you can.
You know, over the last few nights, I've had this little black jumping spider. It come down a little web, and just like hover in front of my face. So I hold out my hand. He climbs on my hand. He walks around. I put him down on the table. And I'm always careful where I put my hand because I don't want to hurt him. But he's just a little cutie. Bill would go absolutely out of his mind. Bill Skywatcher, he hates spiders.
Yeah, I know.
But the jumping spiders are harmless. They don't hurt you. Okay, so we've stacked 30 frames. So this stands a chance to give us some interesting data. Let me go into the enhancement here. Increase from 1.44 pixels. Let's go to 1.76 and see how that makes this look. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right. Well, again, as I said, the colors are a little bit incorrect right now, but that's okay. What we're going to do now is, as you can see, we're really zapping this thing as far as trying to get the details out of this image. So we're going to take this black level and work it back a little past the peak and move this level down, right, and drop some of the green. Okay, and if we come down now, down again. Yeah. So again, we'll revisit this, but it's really pretty. It looks nice. Okay, we're gonna pause this at 34 frames. And we have it selected and named properly, so we're going to save it. Yep. So So that's these guys right here. Alright. And now we will save it exactly as seen. And you can modify that later. That's cool. Now we'll clear this. Well, I have to get up tomorrow, so it's 12:46 a.m. my time. So I am going to be shutting down now, guys, but I want to thank you for coming out here. This has been great. We will be back again, and as the moon continues around in its cycle, we'll have longer and longer times before the moon comes up. So Izabela says, aha, so Mark with the telescope, with this telescope has an advantage because of the wider field. Is this cheating? Oh, for the Messier marathon? I don't think so, Izabela, because we have to center each one in the view to claim it. At least that's what I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you're supposed to identify each one.
Yeah. So that means that when we get to Virgo, we're going to be knocking our heads out. M95 and M96 are right next to each other. But we're going to center one and probably not have to center the other because they're both going to be right near the center of our field. But
March 5 and April
Galaxy.
2.
Huh?
I'm sorry. March 5 and April 2nd.
All right. Very good. Wow. This was a good night. Thank you, guys. All right, Daryl, we're going to be closing up shop tonight.
Alrighty.
We have done our thing. You said it before, you got to get to bed, so I'm going to let you go to bed. Not that I had any control over that. And excuse me. So, I'm unplugging our stellarium system.
Thanks for having me on.
Sure. You're invaluable, as always. Now I'll exit this. Alright, and now... Okay, now the telescope can park. And now what we do is we park the telescope. We're actually bringing it to its rest stop. Each night we put it in this place after we use it. And as you see there, it says parking scope, slewing. And once it gets there, then I go into my control program in the white over there. And when it says shut the telescope off, like that, then I do. We can still see some stars peeking above the building. And the telescope is now off. Now and only now can I shut the top, the roof. But first I'll disconnect the scope, which will disconnect. Alright, and now it's disconnected. I will shut that down after. And now, as always, I like to point out, okay, when you look here, you notice the stars are moving across. I leave the pointer there, and you see the stars drifting across. Again, it's a 1 second exposure, but they're drifting across. You're actually watching the rotation of the Earth, rotating out from underneath the stars. So that's what the telescope's doing at all times. It's following those, precisely following those. And that's why we don't see blurred lines on our photos. See? Kind of cool. Alrighty. I am done with this particular one here. And now up here above my head, you can watch the roof close. You'll see the stars go away, right, as I close the roof now. So watch the stars go away. Here comes the roof. There it is. Those stars are going away. They're gone. All right. Well, there you go, folks. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow. I suspect if it's clear. You know, and again, if we have to wait another day, it'll be another couple days. But we like to take advantage of the fact that the moon is on its last part of its cycle. So, in any case, you guys have a good evening, and we will be back.
Good night, everybody. Take care. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me on, Mark.
Of course, Daryl. We'll talk to you later on or tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys, we'll see you later. You have a good night. Bye-bye.